What a year, 2012 for third baseman Chase Headley, leading the National League in RBIs, winning a Gold Glove for his superb play at third base, delivering key hits, 31 home runs total. Chase Headley, the University of Tennessee All-America, now a San Diego Padre and having one of the great seasons of all time in San Diego history, and he'll be honored tonight with a Silver Slugger and the Gold Glove in pregame ceremonies. Back in uniform, but not on the roster. He played last night at Lake Elsinore and hopefully will join the club as a regular again on the next road trip to Los Angeles and San Francisco. As we welcome you to Petco Park in San Diego, the Padres and Colorado Rockies, second game of the three-game series with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. Well, in his absence, Chase Headley, his good friend behind the plate, Nick Hundley, all he's done the last four games is hit 600.
Night and day, 2012, 2013. Nick just totally erased last year from his memory bank and made some adjustments. I thought he made some great points during the pregame interview about how he doesn't really have intent. He just wants to put his grade A swing on every pitch that's hittable. It's a 100-degree, 80-degree turnaround for Nick Hundley, and his confidence right now, Dick, is just showing not only in the batter's box, but also behind home plate. Doing a great job.
You saw that double. He has 5 already this year. That ties him for the National League lead in 2 base hits. Now we swing over to this marvelous switch hitter, leadoff man for the Rockies, Dexter Fowler. He didn't hit a home run the first 59 games against the Padres. Last 9 games, he's hit 6 home runs.
He is seeing the ball extremely well. He's using the whole field. The bat speed, it seems to me, as this kid gets older, he's going to fill out a little bit more and get a little bit stronger, so therefore probably more home runs. How does Edinson Volquez and the Padre pitchers throw against Dexter Fowler? Well, we saw that he likes the fastball, right? Middle in. He likes the fastball down. I would have to say keep the fastball, two-seamer down and away, changeups down and away from right-hander Volquez, batting now from the left side at Fowler. And then curveballs, getting soft. He likes the heater. He's turned on. Go soft on him tonight. Hopefully they can get him out.
So Edinson Volquez trying to stop Fowler at the top of the lineup with all those terrific hitters behind him in the Rockies lineup. They've hit 18 home runs. That leads the National League. Edinson Volquez has to throw strikes. He looks for his first win of the season tonight as the Colorado Rockies dig in. They've won 4 straight against San Diego in this young season. And we'll be saluting Chase Headley. Welcome to Padres baseball on a Saturday night at Petco.
on the way, but a huge smile from Chase Headley as he was just presented with both the Gold Glove and Silver Slugger awards. You know, Chase becomes just the 8th National League third baseman to receive both of these awards in the same season. As Chase knows, a very special accomplishment and an incredible feat.
It's going to be awesome. You know, really excited about it. I'm really honored, humbled. You know, these awards. I mean, you're playing against the best guys in the world, so to be honored, you know, it's a tremendous accomplishment, and I'm glad that I can share it with the fans and the team, and you know, look forward to it. It should be a great night.
Chase also told me, you know, he did take some time to reflect on winning both of those awards this summer. You know, you got to put that in perspective, he said, and respect the game of baseball and the players out there on the field, feeling very good about himself, but of course just wanting to be back on the field right now. Well, coming up, it is Edinson Volquez and Justine here in Petco Park for Saturday Night Baseball. We'll see you after the break.
Back, and it's gone. Another one deep. Deep and gone over the center field fence. And welcome to San Diego Saturday night, game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. The Padres trying to put a stop to the Colorado early dominance. The Rockies have won the first 4 games between these two teams. They swept up in Denver last weekend. Good crowd on hand to celebrate Chase Headley's sensational season a year ago. And of course, 25,000 fans will take home a Chase Headley bobblehead doll. Walt Weiss in his first season as manager of the Rockies. And he's certainly smiling about the production offensively as they have the best batting average, .283 in the National League, and have hit more home runs than any major league team with 18.
Yeah, everything's going right now for Walt Weiss. A nice record of 6-4, only 1 game back in the chase in the NL West. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, though. Rockies are going to score some runs. It's all about the pitching. How will the Rockies pitching hold up this year?
Weiss, a 49-year-old from Tuxedo, New York, his first ever job as a professional manager. There are the umpires, Mike Muchlinski, Brian Knight, Jerry Davis, and Dan Iasonia.
We'll call the action tonight. Weather is cool tonight. A marine layer. It's basically we've not seen the sun the entire day, and temperature reaching towards 60 degrees. It feels chillier than that. Padres, because of the ceremonies, Chase Headley receiving the Gold Glove and the Silver Slugger, and the Gibby Award as well that goes to the breakout hitter of the year each season. A little later start than normal.
Dick, you just mentioned the word breakout. How about a breakout tonight for the San Diego Padres? Getting out to an early lead, a quick first inning, and having a win tonight.
Well, opening action tonight, Benito Santiago, the National League Rookie of the Year in 1987, the catcher of the Padres, with the honor of tossing out the first pitch.
I'm surprised he didn't throw that pitch from his knees. Benito Santiago was notorious. I'll tell you what, I remember one play in particular. The Expos were in town. Tim Raines, of course, he was one of the best stolen base guys in all of Major League Baseball. He's off and running. Benito from his knees fires a P-Rod down to second base. Got him by like 5-6 feet. Unbelievable.
As the Padres take the field, let's look at the Rockies starting lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. Fowler continuing on his home run binge with 6 homers in the first 10 games. Then Rutledge, his first homer last night. Then the tough guys, Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, Michael Kadire. Todd Helton, 3 hits last night, continues to rip apart Petco, one of his favorite ball yards. Willeen Rosario, the power hitting catcher. Reed Brignac at third base tonight, and Jolise Chacin on the mound.
And tonight's scouting report for Edinson Volquez is always brought to you by Jaguar of San Diego. It's plain and simple, Padre fans. Strike one. We talked about it in our open. Don't overthrow. When the shoulder flies open, the head flies open, the release point is off. And in a situation where a lot of pitchers need to reach back for a little extra, that's what happens with Volquez, and he can get really wild. So stay on line to home plate.
Here's the Padre defense behind Volquez, brought to you by Aramco Mortgage. Kotze and Denorfia in the corner outfield positions, with Will Venable again giving Cameron Maben a night off in center field. Guzman at third, Cabrera and Jerko up the middle, with Alonso covering first base. Nick Hundley behind the plate for Edinson Volquez. Bud Black's team hungry for a victory. Start tonight at 2-8. The Rockies 6-4.
You know, last night, quite frankly, was a game that the Padres should have won. You know, you go to the bullpen, and all of a sudden it didn't work out that way. But it's games like that where in the past the Padres bullpen has held on close games and walked away with a victory, but not the case last night.
Volquez has pitched 9 innings in his 2 starts and has allowed 10 runs, 15 hits. His walk total is down, only 4 walks. And here's Fowler. He's the big surprise of the National League at this stage. .325 average, 6 home runs, and 9 runs batted in out of the leadoff spot. Carlos Gonzalez down in the hole, will hit third. Married in the offseason, not Tulowitzki, but Fowler. Working more and more on weights, and they say that's contributed to this newfound power. And the first pitch is over but low. It appears that he is a dead pull hitter when you throw the ball down below the waist. He likes that golf shot, and he golfed a couple out of here last night. 92 on the fastball.
That's the area where you want to stay on Fowler. We mentioned that earlier. Away, down and away, soft away. See what he can do with that. The outfield just a little bit to the left. Venable on the shortstop side of second base in center field.
The 6 home runs ties him with Justin Upton now in Atlanta. John Buck, the Mets catcher, has 6 home runs. 19 runs batted in for Buck. Boy, did the Padres get him going in that first series in New York. 19 RBIs, the 10 games. And Fowler starts the game with a base hit to right. Denorfia cuts it off, and Fowler, a good runner, will hold with a long single. Well, they haven't figured how to get this guy out, Fowler.
Well, he missed with location, but first we're going to look at the delivery of Edinson Volquez. The head kind of leaks a little bit, and look at that. That's the nitro zone to Fowler. Down and in. It was a 2-1 count. He was behind. Okay, nice rock over the rubber. The head kind of leaked a little bit towards first base line, and look where the pitch was, White, down and in. So it's almost as if the release point followed the head and shoulders and went down and in, and that's where Dexter Fowler likes it.
I'm anxious to see when they're going to pitch him high.
Yeah.
It's not working down low. Josh Rutledge, the second baseman, homered last night. A line drive into the first couple of seats in left field, straightaway left field. Then it's Gonzalez, Tulowitzki, Kadire, and Hilton, the very strong middle of the lineup for Colorado. One ball and one strike. Rockies have outscored the Padres 27-11 in the 4 games.
Ouch.
And when you think about it, Fowler has 6 home runs. The total for the entire Padre team so far is 4. To third. Guzman to second, back to first, and no sense even throwing it as Rutledge easily had legged out and has the fielder's choice. Guzman working at third base. It doesn't get a lot of action there, but handled that high hopper well.
Planted that back foot, fired a seed to Jerko at second base. It was a low throw, and Jed did the right thing, as you mentioned, Dick. No use to throwing that thing. You rush it, you throw it away. Next thing you know, you got a runner in scoring position. You still have the double play in order with that runner at first.
And here's the ever dangerous Carlos Gonzalez. 289 start on the season with 3 home runs. And matching the 3 home runs with 3 assists in the outfield already. He's had a terrific arm. An arm that normally would be in right field, your best
That's right.
arm, but he plays left field in part, I guess, because at home in Colorado, that's a bigger pasture
Absolutely.
to cover.
I'm impressed with this kid's arm. I mean, he's fun to watch. Rick Ankiel and Carlos Gonzalez probably the top 2 arms out there.
Parra at Arizona.
Yeah, Manny Parra, yep. He's got a cannon as well.
A ball and a strike. 1 out, 1 on here for the Rockies. Just underway on a Saturday night at Petco Park.
You know, you see the numbers there. 7 for 15, 467. Gonzalez against Volquez. I'd like to know what those hits are in the counts. You know, he's even in the count now.
Runner bluffs and the ball in the dirt, 2-1.
And Carlos Gonzalez is, you know, he's maturing into such a bona fide big league hitter that now at 2-1 count he could just eliminate an off-speed pitch, a curveball that he hasn't thrown for a strike yet. He can eliminate the changeup. Look for number 1 and go to hacking.
2-time Gold Glove winner himself in left field, and he also won the Silver Slugger. He won both the Glove and the Slugger award 3 years ago. Runner goes. Hundley's throw, not in time. Good pop-up slide by Rutledge. That takes away the double play.
See, that 2-1 pitch was a breaking ball. It was a curveball. Gonzalez just lets it go by. Nice pop-up slide. Ooh, it looks like Rutledge. Does he come up off the bag on the pop-up slide?
Close. Second steal for Rutledge. And the count now in Cargo's favor at 3-1.
You throw him a breaking ball to go 2-1. You probably throw him a breaking ball here as well, or a changeup. Something that looks like a fastball.
Runner at second. The moderate shift is on with second baseman Jerko out on the outfield grass. Deep at first is Alonso. Cabrera playing about 10 feet to the shortstop side of second, with Guzman in the normal third base position. That's the changeup.
Yep, there it is.
He was hunting fastball all the way.
Everything working perfectly on that pitch. The arm action, the release point, and to Gonzalez looks like a fastball, but it dies right off the table to run the count full. You throw him another one here, Dick? Why not? Huh?
How about a curveball here, low and in?
I'm going with the changeup.
Got him. And you're right again, Mr. Grant. Big strikeout. Got Gonzalez to chase a ball that would have put him on base with a walk.
Absolutely, Dick. He helped him out by swinging at a bad changeup. You see it out of the hand. It's elevated. And that is a big strikeout for Edinson Volquez.
2 outs to Tulowitzki. Tied with Fowler. Leading the club in RBIs with 9. 3 home runs. Good pitch. There's the curveball.
Boy, if he can get that release point down, the Rocky hitter is going to have a tough time at the dish tonight.
Cal State Long Beach product, Troy Tulowitzki. One and one. Fastball tails inside. One of the reasons the Rockies are off to a good start, 6-4. They're hitting with men on base in scoring position. They're hitting .310 through the first 10 games with ducks on the pond.
Yeah, that'll get it done.
Foul ball. Another changeup used by Volquez. How about the Atlanta Braves start? They won again today, 8 in a row.
Yes.
10-1 for Atlanta.
I hear they're already printing playoff tickets in Atlanta. Is that true?
Pretty good young outfield now getting Justin Upton along with his brother in Tampa. Along with Hayward and Wright.
It's a good lineup.
1-2. Tried to buzz him low and in.
Moving his feet just a little bit.
I don't think we see Atlanta here this year, do we? I know we go to Atlanta in September. Ripped fair. Karams off that low barricade in left, and Tulowitzki will jog into second base with a screaming double to left, and the Rockies take the lead early again. 1-0.
Well, we take a look. It looks like a two-seamer that's up. And Tulowitzki does a fine job getting the top hand on top of that. You know, if taken, that is a ball. But Troy is very quick to the baseball on the inside part of the plate. Guzman just out of his reach. He really would have liked getting out of this inning with throwing a bagel up there. But third double scores a run for the Rockies.
Brings up Michael Kadire, another 300 hitter, 371. Had a big home run to help the Rockies win a game up in Denver last weekend.
Well, that first inning for Edinson Volquez is his kryptonite. Over the course of his career, 5.82 ERA in the first inning. That's over 124 games started.
Here he is about to throw his 20th pitch of this first inning.
And that's the highest ERA of any inning over his career as a starter.
A ball and a strike to Kadire.
Well, if he could just find that formula to get a quick first inning, it'd be unbelievable to see the numbers for Edinson Volquez.
Rockies scored twice in the first inning last night to jump out in front 2-0. The night before, the Dodgers scored 2 runs in the first inning. The night before that, the Dodgers scored on the home run by Crawford in the first inning. That's 4 straight games where the opponents getting the lead in the very first frame.
Another changeup to Kadire. Keeping it down, good movement.
Tulowitzki with his lead at second. 2 out. Fooled him, but able to spoil that one and keep the count level at 2-2.
So he's gone soft. 2 pitches in a row. Change up, swung on and missed. Curveball out in front. Wasn't really on that pitch. Now, if he throws him a fastball here, a well-located fastball, probably tough for Kadire to catch up to it. Well, he wants a pitch up here. Probably a fastball. Up around the chin. Over the plate. A little too high.
Kadire, 14 years in the Twins organization before as a free agent. Moved to Denver last year. Hit .260 with the Rockies with 16 homers. Professional hitter.
Great pickup by the Rockies, you bet.
High again.
You know, when a pitcher is in crunch time, and it happens to a lot of starters, especially guys with live arms, they feel like they got to reach back a little bit more, and that's when the mechanics get all out of whack. And I think that's what sometimes happens to Edson Volquez. And you have to trust, you know, when we say trust your stuff, you have to trust your mechanics. You have to stay online with your mechanics in order to throw good quality pitches.
Struck him out. So a couple of strikeouts for Volquez, but Fowler's single and an RBI double by Tulowitzki give the Rockies the lead. Yonder Alonso, 2-run homer last night. We'll see him bottom of the first. The action on the big screen as we look into beautiful Petco Park on this Saturday night. And here's today's Padres lineup brought to you by Toyota. Cabrera, Tenorfia, Alonso, Guzman hits cleanup. Mark Kotze playing in left field. Carlos Quinton given the night off as a starter. Then it's Jerko, Hundley, Venable, and Volquez. Against the 25-year-old Jhoulys Chacín. He beat the Padres up in Denver last weekend.
He's got a good arm. The big thing about Chacín is that if you get him on the ropes, get him into the stretch, multiple base runners, you can get on the board and throw up a crooked number. So got to be patient here. Make him get some pitches up.
And he has flashes of wildness. He led the National League in walks 2 years ago. Volquez that honor last year. Dubiously.
Well, here's the 4-1-1 on Chacín. Make him get his pitches up and get him out of rhythm. Get him in that stretch, multiple base runners. He can get into trouble and be his own worst enemy. A fastball, slider, change, and a curveball. High 80s, low 90s. He'll top out about 93 on the fastball.
Line to left field, hit well. Gonzalez staggered as he took off, and the ball goes all the way to the wall. Cabrera around second. He's going to try to make it to third with an opening triple. He's in there.
Who took Cabrera?
So Everest Cabrera with his first triple of this new season as he hits it over Gonzalez's head. Carlos Gonzalez staggered, slipped a little bit as he tried to break on the ball.
Dick, that's a great looking swing by Everett Cabrera. You can see Carlos Gonzalez slip there and then just going to play the carom. And you know, that might have been the difference because Cabrera turned it on after he rounded first base. I think if Gonzalez goes after that ball a little more aggressively, he might have held him with his arm as well. Held Cabrera to a double.
So tying run at third with no one out for Chris DeNorfia. DeNorfia with an 8-game hitting streak. His best ever last year was 12 in a row. Infield back. That'll make the crowd behind and beyond the Padre dugout.
There's a happy customer. Oh, yeah. Got the silver bullet in one hand and a big league baseball in the other. Life is good.
Yeah. Little bus from his lady fan. Struck him out. Couldn't hold back on that outside fastball, and there's one away.
Let's see if he went, Dick. Oh, yeah.
Not close.
No question.
So Yonder Alonso, infield still back. They'll trade it out for a run. And the Padres take advantage and tie it up here in the first. Alonso with 5 RBIs leads the club with 2 home runs. Chacin, you mentioned it up in Coors Field. Great body for a pitcher, 6'3" and 225. From Maracaibo in Venezuela. He's in his last 4 starts against San Diego. He's 3-1 and ERA of 1.40. He's not giving up anything. He'll give up a run here. That ball sliced into the corner. Gonzalez a late break and makes the catch. Cruising into the corner, tagging and scoring Cabrera. It's a 1-all tie. Almost a little too casual out in left field. Gonzalez, he did that up in Denver and then made a dive when he really didn't have to had he gone after the ball seriously, but he gets the out. Well, let's look at the Rockies defense brought to you by Hyundai. Gonzalez has been busy here in the first inning in left with Fowler in center, Kadire the right fielder, Brignac and Helton at the corners of the infield with Tulowitzki and Rutledge up the middle and Rosario behind the plate. Alonso credited with his 6th RBI, bringing home Cabrera, and here's Guzman.
Nice little slider from Chacin. Well, it's good to see the Padres answer back with at least one in their bottom half of the first.
One and 2 to Guzman, who's had just 12 official at bats with 3 hits. Combination of Cabrera and Alonso. That partnership bringing the Padres their first run tonight. Swing and a miss. Fooled badly. That's that curveball from Chacin. Scoreboard has the count 1 ball and 3 strikes. Now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hey, that'd be a great rule, wouldn't it? 4 strikes and you're out.
In the dirt, and the count now full.
Hey, there's 3 outs in this league. 3 strikes, 3 outs. he thought the inning was over as well.
Well, he was reading the same scoreboard we were. So full count, Guzman. And there is the strikeout, the second of the inning by Chacin. But Everett Cabrera sprinting around second to third with his first triple of the season and will score the first Padre run. second inning. Todd Helton will lead it off for the Rockies with Rosario and Brignac to follow. Helton came into Petco Park with a career batting average of over 330, now 340, but only 2 hits in the first week and plus of the season, 2 for 21 until last night, and he goes 3 for 4 with an RBI. One of those hits a double.
Yeah, he's going to get his hits.
Good fastball. He's moving up the list of all-time hitters with 2 base hits in Major League history. Starting tonight, number 21 all time. Just a double away from Pudge Rodriguez.
You know, like a pitcher who loses his fastball after pitching 15, 20 years in the big leagues. Todd Helton's that type of hitter to where the bat speed isn't quite there, but yet he's so smart and such a good athlete. He's almost had to reinvent himself as a hitter. You know, he's always been opposite field power, but even more now, taking the ball the other way.
There it is. Guzman boots it, and safe is Helton. Handcuffed Jesus Guzman. That should be an error.
Well, it seems lately there's been a handful of balls hit right at defenders that should be caught. Possible double plays, line drives. This is going to be slicing off the bat. Very catchable ball for Guzman. Cannot find the handle. That hurts.
So it was an error at third base last night that cost the Padres 2 unearned runs in the 8th inning as the Rockies tied it up at 5 and then won it in the 9th inning. Here's Rosario. 9 for 31. He has 3 home runs. Good breaking pitch. That's where you got to keep it.
Yep.
When you're pitching to Rosario, you throw that ball middle in and he turns on it in a hurry.
You are reaching for a new one, no doubt about that. And like we've said all along, just because he has a slider speed bat doesn't mean you can't throw him one or a curveball. It just has to be in the right location.
A ball and a strike. Final game of the homestand and this series tomorrow, 1 o'clock on our first military day. Jorge De La Rosa on the mound for the Rockies against Clayton Richard. And we'll have an hour pregame show, so noon on Fox Sports San Diego. In the dirt. 2-1.
Mentioned earlier how when Volquez falls behind, in this case 2-1, we know that Rosario loves the fastball. You got to have your pinpoint control here. Down and away. Maybe get a grounder. Change up.
Low and 3-1 as Volquez falls behind.
Dexter Fowler hanging out by the phone waiting for that call.
Can't wait to get up there again.
Yeah.
Another order of shoes coming in.
Yeah, that's right.
There it goes. Long and gone. Upper deck, left field. 3-1. Rosario does it again. This is a murderer's row when it comes to home runs, this Rocky lineup. Well, they take advantage of the error to start the inning. And Rosario got all of that one.
As the count goes in the hitter's favor, that strike zone starts to shrink a little bit as far as selection for Willeen Rosario. Out of the hand, it's a 2-seamer. Nick Cunley wanted it down and away. That is down, knee high, middle in. And Rosario makes him pay. Misrelocation, big time.
Yep, you could not throw that in a better position to help Rosario. That's right where he hits him. No one out here in the second. And a 3-1 Rocky lead. Reed Brignac, third baseman, pinch hit last night. Hit the ball deep to the warning track in left field for an out. 4 for 13 so far for Brignac, acquired from Tampa. Volquez giving up the home run ball this year early. Didn't do that last season. Batting average against was 9th best in the National League, but this year opposing hitters batting .366 in his first 2 games. And how about, we talk all the time about Colorado, the advantage of hitting in the high altitude and get all those home runs. But that one's in there for a strike. Caught looking as Brignac went away. The Rockies on the road have hit 14 home runs. Second is 6. Atlanta, the Mets, and Washington have hit 6, and the Rockies have hit 14 home runs away from Coors Field. Chacin, he's a good hitter.
Dick, you make a point about the home runs. Any big league hitter, I think, who gets a mistake, regardless if it's in Colorado, Petco Park, Citi Field, they're going to hit it. They're going to square it up. And I think that's what they've done. They take advantage of mistakes and they've squared them up.
Volquez jumps in front, 2 strikes. Guzman deep at third. Throws it away. Brignac was going to beat it out anyway. Good throw, would not have gotten him. Excuse me, Chacin.
Well, he had plenty of time, and Chacin gets down the line pretty quickly there. Just airmails it. There's another play that's got to be made. I mean, if that's online, it's 5-3.
Would have been close, so they rule it an error on Guzman, his second of the inning. And that's where Bud Black is handcuffed without Chase Headley, and with an extra pitcher, he has one less bench player. And Guzman, not a normal third baseman, trying to fill the void there to get his bat in the lineup. But a couple of errors here in the second.
Okay, let me ask you, here's a point of discussion. Infielder like that gets the ball, takes too much time to throw it, guy beats it out. Should it be an error because he took too much time? I think you should take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Whereas getting rid of it to get the quick runner.
Here's Dexter Fowler, singled in the first inning, was forced by Rutledge. But his single became a run when Troy Tulowitzki doubled with 2 outs for the first Colorado run.
So I guess my point is, on a routine grounder, infielder lollygags, takes his time, guy beats it out. I think that should be an error.
I agree. In judgment of the score, they can make that decision.
I don't think Guzman really realized how quickly Chacin could get down the line.
Chacin unhappy. He was 2 for 6. He wanted another hit. He's had a hit in each of his first 2 games.
There's a future big leaguer. Brought his glove to the yard.
Got that hat down.
Yeah.
Serious business.
Boy, he likes that ball down and in. That's the hot zone for Fowler.
They keep feeding him low and in. I'm anxious to see if
I just think
he'll come upstairs with a fastball.
Volquez has just been so inconsistent trying to get that ball down and away.
2-2.
46 pitches to record 5 outs. 4 outs. Check that.
4 outs.
Well, he should have two other outs this inning, 2 errors by Guzman. Count goes 3-2. Dexter Fowler last night. Just over the center field fence. Venable mistimed his leap, and no one, unless you're Superman, is going to catch that one. Way back in right center for his second home run. Total of 6 homers, 4 of those against Padre pitching. Count remains full.
Now, Edson Volquez does not like the feel of that baseball, so he'll ask for a new one.
About Fowler last year, Mark Grant, was that he got better as the game lengthened. Once you get to the 7th inning and he came up, he led the major leagues in hitting.
Here comes a fastball in. Belt buckle high. There you go.
That's in for a strike. He will strike out. That's the 12th time he's fanned this year. 4 strikeouts for Volquez, but that just means he's throwing more and more pitches.
2-C fastball. Fowler gives up on it, and look at there, right at the belt buckle. See ya.
It's a 5-out inning, but on the board there's only 2 gone with the 2 errors. Rutledge, safe on a fielder's choice, stole a base and scored in the first inning. What's wrong with that one? Pretty good looking fastball.
Yeah.
Rutledge with one of the 2 home runs, Fowler and Rutledge in the 9th inning off Houston Street last night to win the game 7-5. Good changeup.
Looked like he tried to overthrow that curveball there.
Lifted to right toward the line to Norfia. And finally the inning over. A run, 2 runs on 1 hit, both unearned, 2 errors.
time for our AT&T Twitter poll question. As Chase Headley was honored tonight with the Rawlings Gold Glove and the Louisville Slugger Award, Jim Hughes on the left from Rawlings. Good man. Presenting the award. Which award is more impressive for you Padre fans out there for Chase Headley as Benito Santiago turns over the Louisville Slugger Award to Chase? Is it Silver Chase for the Silver Slugger Award or the Gold Glove Award at hashtag Gold Chase? So hashtag Silver Chase, hashtag Gold Chase.
Sounds like my wife shopping. 3-1 in the bottom of the second. Mark Kotze leads it off. Well, there goes a good Saturday night.
I'll tell you what, though, the Gold Glove, Dick, you and I have talked about this. What a great looking award.
That's my favorite.
Wow.
Kotze works the count to 3-0 with Jerko and then Hundley to follow here in the second. This may be one of those Saturday night specials where it's going to take a lot of runs to win. 3-1 already, and we're just in the bottom of the second. High strike. Kotze 6 for 13 against Chassin. He's 2 for 3. Limited sample. On ball foul. Surprisingly, second inning has been a shutout inning for the Padres. They've not scored a run in any second inning this year. That's hard to do.
That is.
Up the middle, tough hop, handled beautifully by Tulowitzki. Oh, that's quick hands. One away.
He does a fine job of getting that ball in front of him. Sure, Troy Tulowitzki is fluid enough, athletic enough to play it off to the side when he needs to. But look at that. Both hands, palms facing towards the ball. If it hits in the heel of the glove, it's probably going to come up, hit him in the chest. But at least you give yourself an opportunity, a chance to knock it down in front of you to throw out the runner. None of this Olay stuff off to the side.
Brings up Jet Jerko. High fly ball. Routine right field. Kadire coming in. 2 away. So Kotze got the count to 3-0, but Chassin came back 3-2 and then marked with the ground ball to short. Jerko with first ball hunting, flies out. Here's Nick Hundley. A lot of good things about Hundley so far. He leads the National League in hitting against right-handed pitching. He's batting .500, right-hander against right-hander, hitting
awesome.
.500. And he likes it when the arcs are on. He likes the lights, night hitting.
Yeah.
He leads the National League at batting average at night, .526. So a lot of good things happening for Nick.
Likes hitting underneath the candles. Of course, we thank Nick for being our pregame guest. Interesting conversation about his adjustments over the offseason, his swing.
Well hit to center, but Fowler has a lot of room out there. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jhoulys Chassin. To the third, 3-1 Rockies.
3-1 as we get started with the third inning. Joining me now, former Padres catcher Benito Santiago. Welcome back to San Diego. How is it being out here again?
Oh, thank you so much. It's amazing for me. This is one of my places. I start over here, and I'm so happy to be here.
Well, you know a few things about the Gold Glove and Silver Slugger awards. What did you think about Chase Headley getting those tonight?
You know what? That's a big honor. What that means is that you're the best hitter in the game that year and the best defensive player. And what else you can do? When you had that and you accomplish that, it's happy to do it. And plus, it's an honor to do it.
Now, we had a Twitter poll question that's going out right now to people. Which one of those awards is harder to get, in your opinion?
I think it's the Gold Glove. But you know what? I go 50-50 on that because it's not easy to win it as the silverback either. But I have a lot of enjoyment when I win it. I win the Gold Glove.
What do you do with all those trophies? Where are they?
Oh, my mom has it. My mom has all that, because usually I have a house. I don't like to have all that stuff in there. But my mother have it all over the place in her house.
A great place for that to be, I'm sure. Well, what are you up to now in Florida?
Well, I do financial stuff, and then now I'm going to go for a different company, and everything going well, and at the same time I teach a couple of guys. That's what I like to do the most, and getting in the little construction business again, and things are working, and I'm getting busy.
Well, great. Well, you look great. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know the fans are really excited to see you here, as is Mark Grant.
Thank you. Hey, Mark, I say hello over there.
There you go, guys.
Thank you, Kelly.
It's good to see Benito. He looks like he's in playing shape as well,
doesn't he?
He
does look in great condition.
He's always kept himself in great shape.
Meanwhile, Edinson Volquez unable to throw a strike to Josh Rutledge, who walks to lead off the third. First walk from the Padre right-hander. Carlos Gonzalez aboard with the walk. Gonzalez struck out his first time. And Tulowitzki with an RBI double past third to knock in a run in the first inning. No place to hide in this Rocky lineup, and if you walk somebody, it's going to bite you.
No fun pitching out of the stretch when the likes of Troy Tulowitzki come up. Michael Kadire, Todd Helton. Rosario made him pay earlier in the game in the second inning with a 2-run shot. So Edinson Volquez has his work cut out for him. He's approaching 60 pitches already here, and still nobody out in the third inning.
Leadoff hitter on base all 3 innings against Edinson. There's a strike, breaking ball.
And that curveball will be a knee buckler. A lot of the times when he really gets up on top, it gets through that curveball. It's a nasty pitch.
Infield looking for a double play opportunity.
Oh, man.
Just a little low.
Yep. And the frustration from Edinson starting to come out a little bit as he snaps back at that ball being thrown by Nick Hundley.
A lot of work. 60 pitches. No one out here in the third. Runner goes. Double clutch, and by that time Jerko had to make a tough catch on the one hopper. So stolen base Gonzalez, the second steal for the Rockies tonight.
Sometimes a base runner, when a pitcher is struggling, as you take a look at Nick Hundley, as you mentioned, the double clutch there. But Edinson Volquez struggling, throwing strikes, falling behind. So all his attention is, oh my gosh, what do I need to do to throw a good pitch here to Tulowitzki? And he picked a good pitch to run on.
Second steal for Cargo of the season, so he's in scoring position, no one out. And 3-1 to Tulo. Oh, just missed that. High in the air off third. Guzman waiting for it to come down. That was up in the light towers. One away. Brings up Michael Kadire, struck out swinging the first time. Mark Sweeney joins us down in the television well by the Padre dugout. His unique perspective, point of view. You get up higher, the higher you go, as our most broadcast booths, the more the game's sterilized. You know,
yeah.
It's like you watch a boxing match from the back row, and it's one thing. You're around ringside and getting splattered. It's a little different fight.
Yeah, it slows down from up here. But Mark Sweeney, it's amazing how quickly the game could go by. Just even a routine ground ball off a big leaguer's bat, huh?
Yeah, and you know what, Mark, and I think Dick makes a great point. These guys are obviously grinding, and when you grind like this, it always feels like the game is getting away from you. But this game tends to go in certain waves, and these guys are going to definitely come out of it. But it's very difficult when you're going through things that you really should be doing every single day, and it's very difficult for these guys. But I know they're putting every bit of work into it.
Well, the loss of two of their major bats out of the lineup at the start of the season certainly hasn't helped. Chase Headley and Yasmani Grandal. That one caught the corner, 2-1. Carlos Quentin off to a slow start as well. No home runs so far. Carlos 4 for 22 at the start. No word yet as to the appeal by Quentin of the 8-game suspension. Up the middle. Jerko gets his man Kadire, 2 away as Gonzalez moves to third. Todd Helton safe on an error leading off the second inning, scored on Rosario's home run. There he is on the all-time list, the great second baseman Hall of Famer of the Tigers, Charlie Gehringer, with 574, Pudge Rodriguez 572, and Helton about to move into the top 20 in doubles career. Late swing on the fastball. They expect him to hit the left field. Kotze playing well over toward the line in left, and Venable swung into left center.
Hey, Dick, who's the all-time leader in doubles? Foster Brooks?
Foster Brooks. My goodness.
Sweeney, I know you like that one. Come on.
I loved it.
That takes me
You're
back.
a funny guy.
Takes me back to meeting Foster Brooks before he became famous. Fly ball to left center. Were they positioned well enough? Nope. That ball drops between Kotze and Venable. Another run scores, and into second with a double is Todd Helton, and now he shares the number 20 spot all time in 2 base hits with Ivan Rodriguez.
Boy, wouldn't you know it? Right on cue. Todd Helton. We mentioned this earlier, Mark Sweeney, about Todd Helton earlier in his career. Boy, he could really spin on a fastball, and it's almost like he has to reinvent himself. But he's always done a good job of using the whole field, but especially now in his career, just splitting the left center field gap there.
That's exactly what you're saying, Mark. And being in the same uniform as Todd Helton, you understand the time that he puts into it. But he understands what he has to do now, and you're seeing him now. He generates a little bit more with that leg kick, a higher leg kick than normal. But something else interesting about Todd Helton.
What's that?
Against right-handers, he'll use a certain bat. Against left-handers, use a bigger barreled bat. So he changes a lot of models depending on the pitcher, and then he's always done that. But he puts a lot of time into his craft.
You know what's interesting about that? I remember Terry Pendleton, switch hitting MVP 1991 for the Braves. He used different bat from the right and left side. Bigger bat from the left side for Terry.
Rosario homered his last time. A mammoth shot into the upper tier in left center field. 4th home run of the year. Rockies now have added on. They've scored in every inning and lead 4-1. Leadoff walk comes around to score here in the third. Here is that shot off the bat of Rosario in his wheelhouse. That's where the big boys hit him up there.
He wanted it down and away. It leaked middle in, about knee high.
Again, behind on the count, Volquez 2-0. 71 pitches. Softly hit to center. Venable has to play it on a hop. Here comes Helton to score. On to second goes Rosario as the Padres don't cut off the throw. And some of the fundamentals are going awry here for the Padres. That ball's got to be cut off. There's no way that Rosario should get to second base on it.
No question.
5-1 the score. Third RBI of the night for Rosario. He's got 10 now in the season.
Will playing on the shortstop side of second base, and it wasn't on the sweet spot. He kind of got jammed a little bit. And who's in line there? Well, it looked like Alonso was a little late getting over. He was the cutoff man on the run there.
Throw had no chance to get the runner at the plate. In fact, it was dying almost on the grass in front of shortstop. So Rosario takes the extra base, and now he's in scoring position. 5-1 Colorado, and they're going to walk Brignac and take their chances on Chacin. Chacin safe on the air by Guzman, although that could have been scored ahead. Not an easy out. So here you have two players that a year ago, when you thought about the Colorado Rockies, you really didn't say, uh-oh, they've got Rosario and they've got Fowler. But you talked about Tulowitzki and Gonzalez and the new acquisition, Kadire, and of course Todd Helton. Then you add to that mix Fowler's bat and this young catcher Rosario, who looks like the real deal with a bat. He's still working on his defensive skills. And this is a lineup you could compare with any in baseball.
Well, Darren Balsley, the pitching coach for the San Diego Padres, out to have a chat. Take a look at Kadire and Rutledge on the Rockies bench. Darren doing all the talking there. And, you know, Darren mentioned something to me before the game. He said, keep an eye on Volquez when he's in the stretch because he seems to throw strikes when he's using his slide step. Now, I know there's 2 outs and probably the Rockies aren't going to be running here, but maybe, just maybe, we'll have to keep an eye on, does he use a slide step here so he can throw good quality strikes like he does in his bullpen sessions?
Yeah, 2 days ago, he had a bullpen session that they were raving about. They felt he was back on target.
He used a regular kick there. And he finds himself ahead 0-1, which is a good sign. Well, let's take a look. From the stretch, leg kick over the rubber, nice. Straight line, head on line. That was good. His body, after he let go of the ball, his body was still in motion towards home plate.
Does not go.
Okay, now this is the last pitch that was up in the zone. So it kind of throws his head a little bit more that time. His head kind of leaked more a little bit off kilter towards the first base side. It's a fine line. Whoa now.
And the runners will move up. Second and third on the wild pitch. Off the glove of Hundley. We're assuming wild pitch. Fans getting a little tired of this inning. A walk, an RBI double, a looping RBI single, intentional walk. Wild pitch is the call.
Upper half of the body tilting. Maybe a little bit of overthrowing, but the release point way off on that one. Way off.
2-2. The Rockies have built a 5-1 lead already, and with 2 men in scoring position, Volquez can ill afford to let Chacin knock in a couple more Rocky runs. Little ground ball to first. Alonso will take it to the bag himself, and just in time. 2 more for the Rockies on 2 hits and 2 left in scoring position. A 4-run advantage for Colorado. Colorado Bridge. Padres baseball on Fox Sports San Diego, brought to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. Rockies running up the run total. Lead 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the third. Venable, Volquez, and Cabrera scheduled. We'll see if Edinson Volquez will indeed hit in the bottom of the third.
I love me my sushi now.
You know, they don't cook that stuff.
They don't?
No.
I've been eating it all these years. Now that is some kind of nice. I can crush about 8 rolls of that stuff
in one bite.
Oh. How about the Padres start crushing some pitches out of the hand of Jhoulys Chacín?
Took the words right out of her mouth. Venable.
I hate playing catch up. I mean, it's with the way the offense has been going. 4 runs. Sure, it's only the 3rd inning, but got to collectively get it going. Who's going to be the guy to start it off?
Venable works the count to 2-0. Will had a couple of hits last night, 2 RBI singles. He now is the club leader in RBIs with 7. And 3-0.
And Mark Sweeney, I know I've posed this question to you before. We've had discussions off the air, but in a situation like this, early in the game down by 4, how much pressure is on each individual guy to where you feel like, you know what, gosh, I got to get something going. I got to do it all by myself.
Well, sometimes you need to be put in a non-ideal situation to really lock yourself in. And maybe these guys have to understand that the basics definitely work, and they have to get back to the basic program of having that plan at the plate.
Yeah, it could start with a walk, right? A broken bat single, extra base hit. Just frustrating.
You know, Mark, it's just about grinding at bats out. You know, and this is an adverse situation that they've been dealing with at the beginning of the season. But it goes back. You have to have solid at bats. Whether you have 3 or 4 at bats or whether you have 1, you have to have a solid at bat and a plan.
And that's where the mental part of the game comes in.
That ball hit the right center field. Kadire goes over to try to cut it off, but it's by him. Venable with his speed is going to go for 3. No. Breaks at second base with a long double. That's a good start here in the 3rd.
Well, that's what we're talking about, grinding it out, putting together a good at-bat. Chacín up by 4. He throws him a fastball down and away, and Will goes down and gets it.
Padres' second hit. They had a triple and a double.
He beats the shift. Fowler was playing on the shortstop side of second base. Kadire tracks it down, and no need to go for 3. Nobody out, down by 4. A double is quite nice. Thank you.
Volquez then will try to get Venable over to 3rd. There's one of those execute the elementary things. Get that runner along, but the first one try is foul.
Oh, that was the 32nd pitch, Mr. Enberg, from Jhoulys Chacín. Edinson Volquez, 81 pitches.
It's haunted. Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, can't get a starter to give him any length. One and one. And for Bud Black, the manager, craving a pitcher that represents a stopper. When you're losing a couple, 3 in a row, and you say, oh, now we got this pitcher coming out, well, he'll get us out of this. He'll, outpitch the opposition, and if it's just 1-0, we'll win it. Another foul. So Volquez unable to find home plate and unable to find fair territory. Looks at Glenn Hoffman, but it's got to be on again.
I would think so. And if I'm a pitcher here, I'm throwing a breaking ball. Hoping for the foul ball and the strikeout. There it is.
He went for it. Strike 3. Oh, bad at bat.
See, that's why you want to get it done early, right? In a sacrifice situation, pitcher's going to probably throw a fastball early. That's when you want to get the bunt down.
Time for the Sequan Casino Vacation stat of the game. Interestingly, the Rockies have fewer strikeouts than any National League team. And of course, Chacin has said that. He said, hey, I pitched to contact. If you want to hit the first pitch and ground out, I'll take that every time. But he does have 3 strikeouts with that strikeout trying to bunt by Volquez. Here's Cabrera. Cabrera tripled over the head of Cargo Gonzalez in left field in the first inning and came in to score on Alonso's sacrifice fly. Two and 0, and Rosario caused time going out to say something to his pitcher. Maybe he spotted a little flaw in the delivery. That's a strike. 2-1. Well, the third round of the Masters is in the books. Grant Snedeker and Angel Cabrera, former Masters winner, at 7 under. Adam Scott 6 under. Mark Leishman, another Aussie, and Jason Day, also an Aussie, are 2 off the pace. Matt Kuchar at -4. Tiger -3. 4 off the lead going into the final round tomorrow. Coveted green jacket hanging in the closet for one of those men. Will it be Tiger again? 4 back isn't too much for him to consume. Check swing, ball low and in. 3-1 to Cabrera. Padres trying to chip away at that 5-1 Colorado lead.
Kind of stood up Cabrera a little bit. Looked like Rosario was set up away, but Chacin gets the call on the inside part of the plate.
Venable with his lead at second. Line drive, base hit. Left center field. Venable will score easily. It's 5-2. Cabrera, triple and a single. First RBI of the season for Everett Cabrera.
Two-seamer, not trying to pull it. Oh, that's a pretty looking swing. And Mark Sweeney, from your vantage point, didn't try to do too much.
Yeah, I love seeing Everett Cabrera do that. I did it last night's game in a single up the middle, using the middle of the field and staying with that sinker away. Nice job by Everett Cabrera.
There's so many hitters try to pull that pitch. Ends up in a bad result.
Denorfia shoots one to right field. Cabrera around second and holds. Kadire up with the ball. His throw gets away, but not far enough for Cabrera to advance. So Denorfia's hitting streak runs to 9 consecutive games. And the tying run comes to the plate here in the third.
He's swinging early. Got a fastball. We've seen Chris Denorfia do that within the last week. Taking advantage of that big hole on the right side. Inside out of that ball. Hands first. Barrel follows. Nicely done, Chris Denorfia. Jim Wright, the pitching coach for the Rockies, out to have a chat.
So in the inning, a leadoff double Venable after Volquez struck out trying to bunt. Back-to-back singles. Cabrera knocks in his first run of the year, and Denorfia safely aboard on that single to right field.
You know, one thing you always have to be aware of, and Mark Sweeney being down near the field, like a pickoff. Everybody's focusing on pitcher-hitter matchup. Well, you know, the Padres right here got a little rally going, one out. We always have to be aware as a base runner of one of those infielders sneaking behind you.
And when that pitching coach goes out there, often it's not just to talk about the man on the mound, but saying, here's a perfect spot. Let's think about trying to pick him off second.
Hey, maybe if the first pitch is taken, whether it's a ball or a strike, how about on the second pitch, before you throw it, let's make a pickoff attempt at second base.
Alonso knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly to left his first time. And Rosario boxes that one. Ball one. Alonso with a long 2-run homer last night early in the game. Second of the season. Two and 0. Here's the shot by Alonso, center field. First inning. His second of the season. He now sits on a 2-0 pitch. Three and 0. Jesus Guzman on deck, the cleanup hitter. Oh, the green light and 3-0, and he flies to left field. Gonzalez is there waiting. That's interesting. 3-0 pitch.
Oh, it all started with the first pitch that was in the dirt. Fastball, another fastball. Actually, changeups. That last one was a fastball. It just couldn't get the top end on it. Worked on underneath it. I was kind of surprised he swung 3-0 as well.
Yeah, it wasn't really in his hitting zone. It was on the outside corner. But, well, eyes get big when they see the hit sign 3-0. Well, here's Guzman. Struck out his first time. 2 on, 2 out. A run home, 5-2 Colorado here in the third. There goes the runner to third. And he is out. Oh, all of a sudden, what looked like a promising inning. 3-0 pitch. Alonso flies out, and Cabrera, trying to steal third, is thrown out. Rosario with a terrific throw. Look at right on the bag.
Oh, that can't happen.
And today's broadcast is on AFM, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. And we welcome and thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, from San Diego, California. Military Day celebrated every Sunday here at Petco Park. Changes for the Padres as we go to the top of the 4th inning. And leadoff hitter Dexter Fowler will start it for Colorado. Guzman has moved from 3rd to left. That's Alexi Amarista in at 2nd. Jerko moves from 2nd to 3rd, and Mark Kotze out of the game. We'll have to check on the reason why Kotze has left the action. Maybe Mark Sweeney can get that report for us. So the infield now: Jerko at 3rd, Cabrera short, Amarista at 2nd, and Alonso at 1st.
Boy, what a frustrating inning that last half inning was.
Ugly.
We kind of got Chacin on the ropes. 1st and 2nd, 3-0, fly ball to left. And then getting thrown out at 3rd base, trying to attempt to steal.
Ground ball right at Alonso. Keeps that glove low and takes it to the bag himself, and Fowler gone, run away. Let's watch Mark Kotze, his last at bat. He kind of limped going to first base, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Pulled up lame. Stretching a hamstring on that left leg.
So we'll have to wait till we receive word to get an official reason why Mark Kotze was taken out.
But Black already shy one bench player, so that means he's missed another as Amarista comes in. Rutledge has flied out, safe on a fielder's choice, and scored. Padres have only 3 bench players available now. Baker, the catcher, Quinton, and Maben. Sent Cody Ransom for reassignment yesterday and brought up another pitcher, Thad Weber. So it's a short hand for Bud Black. His bench is thin.
Well, because of that, Dick, you'll probably see Jason Marquis and possibly Eric Stultz, good hitting pitchers, probably get in a situation. If they get in an RBI situation, they might be used tonight.
2 left-handed hitters. Maben on the bench, of course, right-hander, as is Quinton. Baker would be a desperate choice because he's the only other catcher. Did not go. 2-2 to Rutledge. Pulled foul. So I'm going to have some fun with you tonight, Mark Grant.
Okay, I'm always up for that.
I'm going to throw a name at you, and I don't expect you to know it. And in fact, most of our audience, I would say only 2-3% might know the name, but it's a very important name, and it's one that I do remember. And of course, being of my age, then I qualified. 2-2 to Rutledge. And in part, it's such an unusual name that when you first heard it, you never forgot it. The name, and it's a famous name in his sport, Cornelius Warmerdam. Cornelius Warmerdam.
I'll be quite honest with you, that does not ring a bell.
I didn't expect you to know.
Does Mark Sweeney?
Yeah, he's
it's Yukon Cornelius. It's that guy that was tasting the snow.
From Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes.
That's close.
He'd throw his ice pick up in the air, would land in the ice, he'd lick it.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Cornelius Warmerdam, on this date at the University of California, Berkeley, set the world record in the pole vault. with a bamboo pole. Went 15 feet. No one had ever done that. Rutledge earns a walk. And in fact, Warmerdam cleared 15 feet 43 times before anyone else in the world could do it. So you think about today, it's a catapult and how the fiberglass bends and kind of springs you over. Bamboo pole, 15 feet. Cornelius Warmerdam.
Wow. What was the record before the 15 feet? Do you know what it was?
14:11 and a half.
Good answer.
Of course, the world record now belongs to Sergei Bubka of Ukraine at 20 feet 2 inches.
Man,
just think about that. That's like pole vaulting into the second story window, which you've had to do a couple of times.
I've tried to do that a couple of times. Back in my high school days.
Yeah. That's why the Alpine Fire Department knows you so well. We got Mark Grant up in a tree, folks. Get the ladder out. Third walk of the game for Volquez has Rutledge at first. Here's Gonzalez. He's walked.
I thought you were going to go Cornelius McGillicuddy, of course, Connie Mack.
Oh, that's right. That would have been a good one, too. Yeah. So there's two famous Corneliuses. And on a sad note, we lost one of the great basketball coaches yesterday, Marv Harshman, who coached at Washington. Washington State was a very close colleague of John Wooden. Wooden had great admiration for Marv Harshman. Wonderful man. 95 years of age. Hall of Famer. (5-2) Colorado. One out here in the fourth.
Well, 94 pitches for Edinson Volquez. Well, if he ever needed a double play.
This is a tough man to double up, though.
Just going to say that. Absolutely right, Dick. Hard one hopper or two hopper right at one of the infielders.
Runner goes. The throw by Hundley. Not in time. Third stolen base of the night for the Rockies. They're not only pounding out hits and home runs, they're stealing as well. That's his third of the season. 2 tonight for Josh Rutledge.
High leg kick from Volquez. It was a fastball. Good pitch for Nick Hundley to handle. And Walt Weiss sends Rutledge in motion successfully into scoring position. Got him ahead now, 0-2. Got to put him away.
That one hit hard to left field. Back goes Guzman off the wall. Around third comes Rutledge, and into second is Gonzalez with an RBI double, and the Rockies lead 6-2. Gonzalez with his 6th RBI of the season.
0-2 pitch. Two-seamer. Gonzalez, as you take a look at contact, it looked like that ball was right down the middle of the plate. Now, Guzman didn't go directly back. He kind of went towards the left center field gap and then straight back.
And another man that walked comes around to score, and Volquez excused for the night.
Pitching change for San Diego. The Rockies lead the Padres 6-2.
brought to you by Sequan. Real friendly, real close. By California Department of Public Health. For free help to quit smoking, call 1-800-NO-BUTS. And by the Aramco Group, purchase, refinance, reverse. Well, the young man just called up from Tucson. Thad Weber is the new pitcher, and Buddy Black giving him some words of advice and encouragement before he makes his first pitch as a Padre.
You know, if there's anybody who can maybe, you know, cut the tension or lighten the situation, I should say, and make a young kid or any player feel more comfortable, it's Buddy. Because he gives him the ball there and go get him, kid. Work with your catcher. Go over the signs. Make sure you're on the same page with Nick Hundley.
Weber pitches to Troy Tulowitzki, the first man he faces as a Padre. He did come up to the big leagues briefly last year with Detroit Tigers, pitched in 2 games, then spent the rest of the year in Toledo. 16th round pick of the Tigers 5 years ago. He's 28. Tulo, RBI double and a foul out to third.
Well, Thad Weber throws about 90-91, a little two-seam fastball, but his pitch is the curveball. He's got a pretty darn good curveball. See his numbers at the old Pueblo down in Tucson.
Started 1 game, went 5 solid innings, earned the trip up to the big leagues. 1-2 the count. Well, you have to feel that baseball is very deep in the DNA of Thad Weber and his wife. They have 2 children, a daughter named Babe and a son named Gehrig.
Really?
How's that? Babe and Gehrig are their kids. Over but low, 90 on that fastball. Weber attended the University of Nebraska. Before that, Hutchinson Community College in Nebraska. He's a native of that state. Friend, Nebraska. Was a pitcher and first baseman in junior college. Pretty good hitter. 453. And went 10-0 as the pitcher. 2-2 to Tulowitzki. 1 out. Gonzalez with the RBI at second and a high fly ball to left center. Venable has a beat on it. Tagging Gonzalez, but no advance. 2 away. Weber is first out. A tough hitter. He gets Tulowitzki, and here comes Kadire.
I mentioned the fastball at 90-91. There's the curveball I was talking about. And look at Tulowitzki. That Colorado, that number 2 on his chest, is straight out towards the pitcher, opening up, exposing that front side, taking away all the power. Fooled by the curveball, and a nice easy out for Thad Weber. Welcome to San Diego, big right-hander.
Kadire against Volquez, struck out and grounded to second base. Good curveball there. Best curveball you've ever seen, Mark
Davis from a left-hander. Best one from a right-hander, Bert Blyleven.
I was going to say Bert Blyleven and Nolan Ryan, because with his speed, when he decided to yank that curveball.
Oh, yeah. You could hear it spin. Oh. You can hear the threads cutting through the air on the way to home plate.
Knee buckler.
Just like the fastball as well.
And you go way back, and Ted Williams talked about the best curveball he saw in Bob Feller.
Oh,
again, a Rapid Robert with a big fastball, but when you get that kind of generate that kind of speed and able to snap the curveball too.
Van Meter, Iowa.
There you go.
Bob Feller.
Such a comfort to know, I'll never be left not knowing, you're right here.
Well, you're my lifeline.
Encyclopedia. So they want to get together. Hundley with the newcomer Weber. Make sure they're together on this sign. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. How about you, Mark Swinney? Best curveball you've ever faced?
Yeah, you know what? I faced a lot of good curveballs because it's big league pitching, but no one really sticks out. I think the best one I saw was off of Troy Percival. It was the first pitch I saw, and he was just converted from a catcher to a pitcher. Didn't understand what he had, but it was a good one.
Yeah, he did have a good curveball now that I think about it. He was a max effort guy, too. Fastball, curveball, everything he had in every pitch.
So that adrenaline rush for Thad Weber, that's settled now as he's had a chance to make a couple of pitches. But this one's going to hurt him. That's a long drive by Kadire. And Guzman just looks up and says, second deck, Rockies home run. This is incredible. Another home run for the Colorado Rockies, Kadire's third of the season. And that extends the lead to 8-2. Two-run shot by Rosario, and now a two-run home run off the bat of Michael Kadire.
Well, the problem with the curveball is that if you leave it up in the zone and hang it, it's going to flatten out like a slider, like a sinker. The higher you throw it, the less it'll break. And Kadire is just too good of a hitter to let a pitch like that go by. He had him ahead 1-2. Weber was ahead 1-2 to Kadire, and he hung the curveball.
Padres have 4 home runs all year. The Rockies have 5 home runs in 1.5 games in this series. Here's Helton, scored 2 runs. Safe on an error, scored in the second on the home run by Rosario, and then doubled in a run and scored in the third. As the Rockies have scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, now 3 in the 4th inning. And he strikes out Todd Helton, but more damage done by Colorado. They lead it 8-2. Line 3 1/3 innings, 7 runs, 6 earned, 6 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Chase Headley, his first rehab assignment at the minor league team at Lake Elsinore, had 3 at bats, hit the ball well, line drive out and a double. Did not play in the field, used as a designated hitter in a uniform, of course, tonight, but not active as he received his Gold Glove and Silver Slugger awards. And hopefully will join the lineup with that fractured thumb healed next week, either in Los Angeles Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or in San Francisco Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Guzman leads it off. Chacin with the comfort of a 6-run lead. Misses there, 2-0.
And Mark Sweeney is still joining us down there. And Mark, it was a nice little story what Kelly Kroll was talking about, how Chase Headley Took the whole team out to dinner, picked up the tab.
Yeah, and I think
hey,
that's
alligator arms. Did you hear that? He picked up the tab.
Yeah, you should think about that. Maybe you should try that. But that's what you have to do as a veteran. You know that,
yeah,
Mark. You go down on a
absolutely.
rehab assignment,
Yeah.
make sure you buy their spread or you take them out to dinner. Classy act by Chase Headley.
Yeah, you know, we've also heard stories of big leaguers going down there and buying like big screen TVs to put in the clubhouse. Just taking care of the guys down there in the minor leagues to have a little bit of taste of the big league life.
And a lot of those players, of course, are in the Peoria spring training camp over in the other fields, and they get to rub shoulders with the major leaguers. And it's a process. Some of those kids, a year, 2 years, 3 years, might be Headley's teammates here. And with that bobblehead down on the giveaway tonight of the Chase Headley. Guzman, the count 2-2. Chacin able to rest comfortably on a 6-run advantage, 8-2. 3 strikeouts and typically good control, no walks. He showed that up in Denver.
Tough pitch to lay off. That was a good two-seam fastball.
Feels a little like Felix Hernandez, isn't he, Chacin? Stocky right-handed.
He does have a good pitcher's build, that's for sure.
Ball 4. Leadoff walk. Alexei Amarista batting for the first time in Katse's spot. Amarista, a slow start, 3 for 26 on the season. Takes a strike. One and one, Amarista. And again, Rosario out in front of home plate to fire the ball to Chacin. A lot of visits here by the catcher with Chacin.
Yeah, down here, guys, that 3-2 pitch to Jesus Guzman, throwing a breaking ball in that situation, looking up to the scoreboard with a 6-run lead. I don't think he was happy with himself, and he's got him out of sorts right now.
Pulled sharply, but there's the Gold Glove of Helton for one. Back to first, not in time for the double play. An excellent defensive stop by Helton. Takes a hit away from Amarista, who's safe on the fielder's choice. 3-6 on the put out of Guzman.
You know, we've gotten to the point when we take a look at the career of Todd Helton. Nothing really surprised. He makes that catch. He actually kind of crawled on his twice to create a throwing lane. And then he has to get down because the throw back to first base. He just makes it look so easy. He's so smooth over there.
Everything but a calliope on that play.
Well, guys, down here, he created that angle because Jesus Guzman took a path inside on the grass. And that's what you have to do as a base runner without getting out of the baseline.
In the dirt to Jerko, ball 1. Fly to right is only at bat. It's a day in history for the San Diego Padres in 1987. Were you there in 87, Mark?
Let's see. I was not. I was still with the Giants. I got traded in July of '87. Well, what happened today?
April 13th, the Padres set a major league record.
Oh, I was in the bullpen with the Giants. 3 home runs in a row.
Yep, Roger Mason on the mound.
Let me guess. Can I guess?
Yeah.
John Kruk, Marvell Wynn, and Tony Gwynn
were the first three batters that Mason faced in the game, all homered.
And Steve Garvey, the next hitter, flew out to deep left center field up against the wall. And Roger Mason was quoted after game saying, "I'm glad I didn't have a fourth pitch." Because all three of my pitches were hit out. If I would have had a fourth pitch, Garvey would have probably hit that one out.
That was at Qualcomm, or was that in San Francisco?
That was in San Diego, then Jack Murphy Stadium.
Right.
Yep.
To become Qualcomm. So that happened on this date, April 13th.
Wow.
Can it be 26 years? 3-1 to Jerko. Amarista at first. And ball 4. Jerko has walked more than any Padre. That's his 6th of the season. So a couple of walks. Generosity from Jhoulys Chacín, and that's going to bring the pitching coach for the Rockies back out to the mound.
Second time tonight, Jim Wright has been out there.
Nick Hundley, the hitter. Rockies actually have 2 pitching coaches, Bo McLaughlin as well. I think that was Bo there next to Walt Weiss. Just as the Padres have 2 hitting coaches. Alonzo Powell and Phil Plantier. That was Tom Reynolds, the bench coach next to Walt Weiss.
There's Big Bo.
There, Bo, yeah.
Bo was a pitcher, pitched for the Oakland A's. He was a roommate of mine actually in Phoenix in 1985.
Now that would be a trivia list. All the men that roomed with Mark Grant.
You know what? I got a story about Bo McLaughlin. It's kind of scary, actually.
Hundley takes low and inside.
Bo McLaughlin was a pitcher for the Oakland Athletics in the Oakland Coliseum. Harold Baines was the hitter for the White Sox. Fastball down and away, right off his cheekbone. He went down like a ton of bricks. It was one of the scariest things I ever saw. Shattered his orbital, whatever it is, on his face. Man, had to have reconstructive surgery, and took a line drive right off his face underneath his eye. I think it was his right eye. Good man right there, Big Bo.
2-0 now to Hundley. 3-0, and Chacín, home plate jumping on him. He's got a big lead. He's walked 2 men, Guzman and Jerko, and falls 3-0 behind Hundley.
Hey, Mark Sweeney, you and I were talking in the dining room, shocker, eating before the game about Chacín, how he can have these little spurts of wildness.
Yeah, and he can have those blow-up innings. Hopefully this is the one.
He was 3-0 on Alonso in the last inning, but Alonso green-lighted, flied out, but Hundley takes the pitch 3-0. Make him throw strikes. And a fly ball to right. Way up there. To Dyer under it. 2 away. And Venable, the hitter, with 2 on, 2 out. Venable doubled to right center to lead off the third and scored on Cabrera's single.
You know, Mark, another thing, Mark Sweeney down in the dugout, with the score the way it is, you know, it kind of takes the, how can I say it? Like when runners on first and second, you can't really put on a hit and run. You can't really do anything to put runners in motion to create something.
No, it's all about the hitter and the program that he has and the routine that he has up at the plate. What you're looking for. If someone's struggling with command, you have to shrink your strike zone and make sure it's exactly what you want to swing at.
Carlos Quinton on deck should the inning continue. Venable, though, pops it up, and that's playable. Rosario makes the catch, and the Padres can't take advantage of the wildness of Chacín. They lead 2 after 4. Colorado 8, San Diego 2. home runs, pair of 2-run shots for the Rockies tonight by Willeen Rosario and Carlos. Check that Michael Kadire. And an 8-2 advantage after 4.
The kids are having fun down in the sandbox down there, the beach, out by the park in the park.
Thad Weber baptized the 2-run homer by Kadire. First hit he's given up as a Padre. And here's Rosario, followed by Brignac and Chacin in the 5th inning. Off the hands, and he loops one into right field for a base hit. If you're just joining us, at score 1-1 when Rosario belted that long home run to left center field in the 2nd inning to make it 3-1 Colorado. Cabrera in the 1st inning with a triple and scored on a sacrifice fly Alonso. That tied it at the time. Then Rosario hit the home run in the next inning, and then Kadire with a little frosting. 3-run 4th inning, and 2 come in on Kadire's 3rd home run of the year. Brignac has struck out and was intentionally passed. One ball and 1 strike. Thad Weber in relief of Edinson Volquez. He's ready. Keep your eye on that hitter.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, shot. Cabrera to Amarista to first. A double play. An outstanding double play. 6-4-3 with Cabrera getting it started for that diving stop.
This was not an easy play, ladies and gentlemen. The one hopper, the backhand accurate. Did Amarista barehand it? Looked like he did. And you know what? Cabrera also being screened. Yes, it was a bare hand. Being screened by the umpire, Jerry Davis at second base. Great concentration. Hey, that'll pick up Thad Weber. That was beautiful.
Fans here at Petco a chance to cheer. That's an outstanding double play with Cabrera's stab taking the ball out of center field. That was headed for a base hit. Chacin, the pitcher, has been on an error and a ground out to first. Easy chance for Jerko, and the inning's over. Halfway mark in this one, 4.5 in the books. Here at Petco, the Rockies lead the Padres 8-2. Which award is more impressive for Chase Headley? The Silver Slugger Award or the Gold Glove Award? Here are the results. You folks like that Silver Slugger better than the Gold Glove by 79 to 21%. Thad Weber came to the ballpark tonight wondering if he'd get a chance to see action. Well, the answer yes, not only as a relief pitcher, but he's going to get to hit as well. Being in the American League, this is his first major league at bat. Takes a strike. But as we told you, in junior college, he was an outstanding 400+ hitter. Let's see. Then it's Cabrera and Denorfia to follow. Up the middle, might have been clipped by the pitcher Chacin, and it's either a 1-6-3 or 6-3. We'll wait to see how they score that. Looked like Chacin might have gotten a little piece of it, so we're going to put 1-6-3 in the book.
See the ball change direction a little bit, possibly?
Just a little, yeah. So 1 out here in the 5th. Cabrera 2 for 2, a triple and an RBI single tonight. Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Cabrera diving to make the stop, and then this is the tough part, getting it out and backhanding the flip while lying on his belly and turning a 6-4-3 double play.
Hey, to backhand a ball like that, barehanded, and have it accurate, and because if there's a little hump in it, there's probably no way they turn that double play.
So a good night for Everett Cabrera. Got the fielding play of the night, and he's 2 for 2, scored a run and knocked in one. .275 now his batting average. He's making much better contact this year. Up the middle, oh, robbed of a hit by Chacin. That was on its way to center field.
And there's nothing that Everett Cabrera can do right there. Put a good swing on it. Just happened to be in a good fielding position, Chacin, to snare that one.
Help yourself, huh?
Yeah, well, see that kind of position. Good fielding position right there on his left side.
Didn't have to move his glove.
Right.
So 2 outs. Chris Denorfia struck out and singled to right, extending his hitting streak on this young season to 8 straight games. One ball, 1 strike. Well, on this trip upcoming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in LA, but an off day Thursday in San Francisco, let's go see the movie 42 in San Francisco.
That would be a nice, that'd be a nice afternoon. Absolutely.
Great reviews. Check swing and a strike.
I can't wait to see that.
Number 42, Jackie Robinson. What he did for the game and for America. 3-2 the count. How extreme it was. The St. Louis Cardinals threatened to strike.
Really?
Because Robinson was in a big league uniform. Punch to the second baseman. And Rutledge throws him out. 1-2-3 the story for the Padres in the 5th.
two Rockies. And we want you, Padre fans, to be a special part in attendance tomorrow, April 14th, as we honor the men and women who serve in the United States Armed Forces with Military Opening Day. Always a great day at the ballpark. It's presented by Northrop Grumman. Enjoy a special pregame ceremony before the Padres take on these Rockies at 1:10. Get your tickets tonight online, Padres.com, or get on the horn at 619-795-5555. A chance to honor the men and women who serve our great country.
Always a special day, Sundays, here in San Diego. Top of the order for the Rockies in the 6th, Dexter Fowler. Single, struck out, grounded out.
Hey, this might be one of those games where Thad Weber, throws up maybe 4 or 5 innings, huh? Save the bullpen a little bit.
Tonight's Cold Hard Fact is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Dexter Fowler's 6 home runs this season have all come from the first or second spot in the lineup. Only 3 other players in Major League history have done that. First 10 games of the season. Eddie Matthews, a San Diegan with the Milwaukee Braves, Lou Brock of the Cardinals, and Jimmy Wynn, the toy cannon of Houston, and Dexter Fowler. That's pretty select company.
I was going to say.
And he earns a walk here from Weber to lead off the 6th. First from Weber. Well, Connor Nicholson checking on the UT San Diego source on the internet, a ruling on the appeal and possible reduction of his 8-game suspension for Carlos Quentin could be made as early as tomorrow. However, if the appeal process isn't completed, there is also a strong chance that Quentin will drop the appeal and begin his suspension on Monday and not go to Los Angeles, which we all feel would be a very wise choice. From the UT San Diego website. Josh Rutledge. Foul tip, 1-1. Rockies got a run right off the bat in the first inning on the RBI double by Tulowitzki. The Padres countered with a run in their half of the first, a triple Cabrera. Alonso sacrifice fly. And then the 2-run homer Rosario, 3-1. 2 more runs in the 3rd, 3 more in the 4th, 2 on the Kadire home run, and an 8-2 lead. The other Padre run on the double by Venable and Cabrera's RBI single. Up the middle. Could it be 2? There's 1. Back to first. Not in time. Rutledge has good speed. Yes. Safe on the fielder's choice.
Yes, he does. Gets down the line quickly. And a nice pitch by Thad Weber. Should feel comfortable out there on the mound right now. Take a look at the 2-seamer, the movement. Look at Rutledge trying to get his hands in to get the fat part of the bat. He got in his kitchen.
Carlos Gonzalez struck out, walked and scored in the 3rd, doubled in a run and scored in the 4th. I like the nickname, the fact they've taken the car from Carlos and the GO from Gonzalez, and Cargo just has a solid ring, doesn't it? It makes you think heavy hitting. Complete player.
Well, Thad Weber, we mentioned that he was in the Tiger organization, and a big fan of his is his manager that he pitched for the last 3 years, Phil Nevin, who's now managing in AAA. You know what? He's gonna be a big league manager someday. Phil Nevin knows the game, and big fan of Phil's.
Former Padres star, and
yes.
He probably told the Padres, or they called him and said, "What do you think of this kid?" And he gave him high marks.
Phil's in Toledo.
The AAA team of the Tigers. That's a good looking swing. 1-2 the count. Would you have been a good manager? Did you ever think about coaching or managing?
You know, to be quite honest with you, I don't think I'd want those duties. Just, I don't have the attention span. I don't have the. No, to answer your question.
You don't have the 16 hours a day, is what you're saying.
No.
Up high, 2-2.
And it just makes me appreciate what Bud Black goes through each and every day. I mean, you know, it's not just about the lineup card. It's about the personalities in the clubhouse and, you know, managing off the field and stuff you have to worry about. There is just so much going on being a big league manager.
It's like having a family of 25, plus your coaches.
Right.
It's a pretty full house for the manager, and he's got to make sure everyone's happy, everyone's on the same page, everyone's motivated. Oh, it's good to see Rick Renteria back in the dugout, and our sympathy. Rick's father passed away in this past week, and he's been gone. Now back, the bench coach, a prized member of that coaching faculty of Bud Black.
Good man right there, Rick Renteria.
Oh, right through the wickets. The second base umpire, Jerry Davis. Gonzalez, another hit. On to third goes Rutledge, and the Rockies threaten to add to the 8-2 lead. 2 hits for Cargo.
Jerry Davis heads up. Which way should I go? I'll just go straight up. Glad it didn't take a bad hop. Stayed on the ground.
The Lithuanian judge gave him a 2.5 on the move. Troy Tulowitzki, RBI double, fouled out and flied to center. 1 for 3. 1 out, infield back. Inside Tulo. Colorado 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position tonight. 454 average. (2-0). Tulowitzki, the first man that Weber faced when he came in for Volquez in the 4th inning, induced him fly out to center field. That's in there.
Edgemere Escalona, the right-hander. Looks like he has been warming up and ready to go.
Chassin has his 5 innings in, so he's the pitcher of record with a big lead. Center field, medium deep. Venable sets himself with the catch. Here comes the runner. The throw is offline, and scoring is Rutledge. It's 9-2. Tulowitzki with another RBI. He's got 11 on the season. 2 tonight. 2 for him, 2 for Kadire, 3 for Rosario. They've scored in every inning but the 5th. Kadire, 2-run homer his last at bat.
You know, scoring in every inning, there's an interesting nugget. It hasn't happened as much as people think.
I mean, at least a run in all 9 innings.
At least a run in all 9 innings. Very few times it's happened. You can see in the 5th, Bagel put up.
There's a good breaking curve. Dips down under the swing of Kadire. They did it.
I remember that game. Yeah, I remember reading about that because it was an article in the paper. And they were talking about how rare that actually is.
I don't know if the Padres have ever accomplished that rare feat. But there they are. 1 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd and 3rd, 3 in the 4th, blanked in the 5th, but another run here in the 6th.
I can't help but every time there's a Colorado Rockies San Diego Padre tilt here at Petco Park, the 22-inning affair that we had here, 2-1 final, or was it 3-2 final? Anyway, it was a low-scoring game. My goodness.
You're not hinting that this is going to go extra innings, are you? Walk to Kadire. Second walk of the inning from Thad Weber. That'll bring up Todd Helton. Helton against Weber took a third strike in the fourth. Clayton Richard tomorrow on the mound for the Padres will go for his first win of the season against Jorge De La Rosa, the veteran for the Rockies. Noon for our telecast here on Fox Sports San Diego, 1 o'clock start on Military Sunday.
Hey, Dick, if you could tell me who batted second for the Padres that night in that 22-inning game, I'll give you $1. It was Thursday, April 17, 2008. Who batted second for the Padres that night?
2008?
I'll give you $1.
Oh, come on, don't dig that deeply. You know, obviously it's you're surprised by it, and why would I know? Bernie Mazzola.
Close. Tadaguchi.
That was my second guess. That was going to be my second guess. Where did you dig that out? The
Mike
score sheet?
Trussell, the angry statistician for us, keeps this. It's like a keepsake. Keeps it in his hope chest at home, and he brings it to the ballpark each and every night.
Wicked sense of humor, Trussell, huh? He loves these long games, so that's what makes him happy. You know, his school teachers, you know, they're used to the bell every 50 minutes. He likes it when it just goes on and on and on.
It was a 2-1 final. 6 hours, 17-minute ball game.
4-pitch walk to Helton, so Weber has walked the bases loaded. And Darren Bosley out to the mound. Rosario has a 2-run homer and an RBI single as the hitter. Actually, he's 3 for 3 tonight.
Hey, Padre fans, become a part of the Padres organization with a Padres Baseball Club membership. Choose the membership and ticket plan that fits your needs and enjoy exclusive events, benefits, and discounts all year long. Get online, visit Padres.com/membership, or get on the horn and call 619-795-5555 and become a member today. Anthony Bass heating up for the Padres.
And Rosario steps in. 2-run homer and a pair of singles, and he's knocked in 3, and the bases are full with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. And another run home for Colorado. He comes out hacking. We mentioned that Weber's son is named Gehrig. On this day, April 13th, back in '39, Lou Gehrig hit 2 home runs in spring training for the Yankees against Brooklyn. Those were the last he would ever hit. Inside.
One of my favorite movies of all time, Pride of the Yankees.
Gary Cooper.
Oh, what a great story. Great movie.
The Iron Horse. So the irony of a man who had the record most consecutive games, and then Lou Gehrig's disease, named after the malady that cost him his life, ALS. There they are. Rockin' Rockies. They're loaded up here in the 6th, and 1-2 now the count to Rosario. Way outside.
Got to be careful with that curveball from Weber, because remember, it was a breaking ball in the 2nd inning that Rosario hit for the 2-run shot.
That's over. Strike 3. Rockies score 1 but leave the bases loaded. Middle of the 6th inning at Petco. 9-2 for the visitors.
As we hit the bottom of the 6th, stepping up to bat though, Yonder Alonso looking for his first hit tonight, but last night had a huge 2-run shot. And after the game I asked him, is there anything he's been working on behind the plate? And he said, actually mechanically, I've been working in my lower half, specifically my knee, driving it down into the ground, something Mark Sweeney talked about in the pregame. And of course Yonder said, I noticed right away the difference in the power behind my bat. We saw that last night, guys, but never fight with gravity, right?
Couple of home runs to lead the club. Kelly, thank you.
Yes, thanks, Kelly.
He's been up twice tonight. Hit both times to the opposite field. A sacrifice fly to left and a fly ball to left on that 3-0 pitch in the 3rd. Edgmer Escalona, the relief pitcher for Colorado, sends in a strike. So Justine looking for his 2nd win in a week, both against the Padres. Gives up 2 runs earned, 4 hits, walked 2, struck out 3. Up the middle, fielded by Tulowitzki, 1 away. Ball hit the mound and slowed it down, aimed for center field.
A chance for Escalona to be aggressive against these Padre hitters with the 9-2 lead. Fastball 90 to 97. A slider and a changeup as well. So in a situation like this, I would have to think that the Padre hitters, they're probably going to see some fastballs.
Escalona has not given up a run in his 5 1/3 innings of work. Guzman has struck out and walked. (9-2). The Rockies trying to win their 5th in a row against the Padres. Ground ball to 3rd. Backhanded by Brignac. 2 away. A couple of quick ground ball outs from Escalona.
See the footwork over at first base by Todd Helton. He's so smooth, like a ballet dancer, a 40-year-old ballet dancer. He was towing that bag. He saw Brignac's throw. This throw is going to be towards the home plate side of first base. And look at him do the shuffle. Let's shift my feet there, put my other foot on the bag, and make it look easy.
So with 2 outs, Amarista hitting in Mark Kotze's spot, grounded out the first time, fielder's choice. And still no official word on Mark Kotze and why he left the game, but we did see him stretching that hamstring in the dugout after he ran out a ball grounding the shortstop is only at bat. Out of play. One strike to Amarista. Line to left, slicing away from Gonzalez, and it is a fair ball. Amarista into second base. Gonzalez gets his throw in, and Alexi. Sharp double into the left field corner. So with 2 outs, Jed Jerko chance to slice a little of that lead away from the Rockies.
The ball slicing away. Oh, that looks like it kicks up some chalk. Even the fan down there beyond the fence signaled fair. We got an extra umpire down there, and that's a double for Alexi. 2nd one of the year.
That's a John McEnroe double. Chalk flew up.
Oh, there you go. Oh, those were the days. I love to watch tennis matches when he was playing.
Jerko walked and flied to right. In the dirt. Nice block by Rosario.
You cannot be serious.
He has made a small fortune of that
explosion
at center court Wimbledon.
Yep.
They've used it in a lot of commercials. And he's finally able to, after all these years, laugh at himself.
Sure.
You couldn't say that to him even 10 years
after. He'd get offended, huh?
Yeah, well, he just, he was a little embarrassed by it all after the fact.
Were you doing the match when Eli Nastasi took his racket and tried to dig a hole?
No, that was just before me.
Oh, I'll never forget that one either. Bad call. He literally takes his racket like a shovel and puts it into it starts digging a hole.
High fly ball to center. Jerko got a lot of that, but in the heavy air, Fowler cruises to the path and makes the catch. No runs, 2-out double. Amarista left at second. We've completed 6 at Petco.
Mike Pomeranz with you. When we see you for Padres Live, the post-game show, what a wonderful evening for Chase Headley and the fans who got to tip their cap.
Yeah, and well-deserved. And you saw the Gold Glove and also the Silver Slugger. You see Jim Hughes from Rawlings giving that Gold Glove. That has to feel good for Chase Headley, and what a day. And he deserves every bit of that because what a tremendous year he had last year.
Coming up on the post-game show, we're going to talk more about that. You'll hear from Padres manager Buddy Black, and we're going to get you ready for tomorrow, which should be a very special Sunday. Military opening day, a lot of fanfare and a chance for all of us to say thank you to all the men and women who serve this great country. We'll see you right after the last out this evening. Dick and Mark.
All right, Mike and Mark, right after the final out at Padres Live. Chase Headley pacing the floor, expectant as a regular soon, and the Padres will welcome him back into that lineup. Reed Brignac in the 7th inning. In fact, Weber giving the bullpen at least a break here in a lopsided game, and that's why he was called up in case there was a game like this. But Black didn't have to use some of his regular pitchers. They've been busy because of the lack of length from the starting pitcher so far this year.
Yeah, day game tomorrow, then 3 in LA the next off day, as you mentioned, Thursday in San Francisco. So got to piece together some ball games. Clayton Richard, Jason Marquis, Eric Stoltz watching from the bench tonight.
Brignac has struck out, walked, and victimized by Everett Cabrera at shortstop on that brilliant double play when Cabrera diving to his left stabbed the ball, and while sprayed out on the dirt, able to backhand flip a perfect throw to Amarista for the relay on to first in a double play. Nine runs, 9 hits for the Rockies. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Padres, and a couple of errors. Full count. High fly ball. He just missed that one. Venable calling center. 1 out. And we hope you'll join us noon tomorrow here on Fox Sports San Diego. The veteran left-hander Clayton Richard against Jorge De La Rosa. 12 noon for our TV time, and hopefully the Padres will have their hitting clothes on. They were 14-12 on Sunday play last year, and always seem to be inspired their play by Military Sundays. Escalona hit for himself. They'll be humming anchors away, and those caissons keep rolling along. Coast Guard and Air Force marches and themes as well tomorrow here at Petco Park.
Was your dad in the military, or did you have any uncles that were?
Yeah, I had an uncle in the Army, Silver Star in Germany in World War II. Ground ball right side. Amarista takes care of Escalona, and another uncle, Toivo, with a CB, was in the Far East.
Our dad served in the Army.
My dad had, in those days, he was a little murmur in his heart. He had the heart of a lion, but he was 4F, and so he worked in a defense plant. A brother in the Navy and a nephew in the Navy. Just got back and is out of the Navy after serving in Afghanistan and Iraq. And like all of the rest, those of you who have taken time to share our broadcast from San Diego, and Godspeed to all of you.
Absolutely, thank you.
We hope we brought a little taste of home to you. Ground ball right at Amarista, and Fowler is retired. 1-2-3 at Weber. Stretch half of the 7th. 9-2. And welcome back. Downtown San Diego, Gaslamp District on a Saturday night. It'll be humming. The fans here after the ball game going into the city for some libations, some late dining. Nick Hundley. First ball swinging. Fouls that one high. Back of home plate. Rosario back. One away. So Hundley 0 for 3. Venable, a double and a foul out. to face Escalona. You know what I'm feeling right now? I have that feeling that one of the great moments in every telecast here on Fox Sports San Diego. Disclaimer.
Oh, is that something you look forward to?
It's a highlight. The old disclaimer. And no one in baseball delivers a disclaimer like Mark Grant.
Well, thank you, Mr. Enberg, and I've been tuning up and practicing my lines.
It's an aria.
Just for this. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Hubba hubba. Oh my.
What was the grade on that one, Professor?
I think that's one of your better reads. You gave it nice pauses. I like that where you don't hurry through it.
Right.
You really sell it. Now, I hope the fans don't tune out now that high moment has crossed our telecast.
I'm still waiting for my grade.
Well, I'm going to have to ruminate over that.
He's a tough grade.
The dissemination you could have done a little more with dissemination.
Okay,
that's a nice word. You've got to caress that. And
I will take that into consideration. And
high fly ball to right down the line in the right field corner. That ball is going to be gone. Venable touches them all. Number 2 on the season for Will Venable. And the lead for Colorado, 9-3.
Escalona throws the 3-1 fastball, and why not? But he misses big time with location. Rosario will set it away. Will spins on the fastball. Petco ports.
Venable, who had 2 RBI singles and 3 at-bats last night. He's 2 for 3 again tonight with a double and a home run. John Baker, the catcher, hits for Weber. So into the Petco porch down the line for Will Venable. That's an area that was not changed with the new dimensions. That angle of property from the foul pole out about 25 feet. And that one finds its way just inside the foul pole about 10 feet, I'd say. Two and 1 to John Baker. One out here in the 7th.
That's a pretty good seat out there at the porch.
322, as you can see, just off the foul pole. The TaylorMade golf club. Baker, high fly ball to right. Kadire tucks away the second out. Everett Cabrera, along with Venable, the hitting star for the Padres, with a triple and an RBI single and a hard smash back to the mound that Chacin fielded and denied him a hit. And that home run will give Venable some good vibes going ahead. Final game tomorrow. '93 pops the mid of catcher Rosario. .331 feet the home run measured. It's the shortest distance here at Petco, right down the line in right field. .336 down the left field line. Ball's hit well to center field. Fowler giving ground, and it is gone. Cabrera, new strength tonight. A triple to deep left and a home run to left center. Oh my! It's 9-4. Cabrera, a double shy of the cycle.
I was just about to say, with the score the way it is, the two-seam fastball elevated, doing a good job of taking it the other way. Try to get in within slam range of these Rockies. That's just too bad. It's a couple of solo shots, but nice to have some base runners on.
Chris Denorfia. Well, folks, the Padres in their 45 years in the major leagues have never had a hitter go for the cycle. And it's conceivable that Cabrera's going to get another at bat before this game is over, and he needs it. Oh, no. Fastball up and in to Denorfia. That was a little dangerous. Escalona giving up a couple of home runs and just accidentally throws one right at the head of Denorfia. That will be remembered. That brought some of the teammates of Denorfia up to the top step of the dugout. And it hit the bat.
Yeah.
Well, that's a tough strike.
You know what? Out of the hand of Escalona, it looked like a breaking ball. He worked around it. Looked like a slider.
0-2 the count. 1-2. Well, we've had plenty of excitement in the homestand. Carlos Quentin there who charged the mound against Zach Greinke the other night, and in that bull rush broke Greinke's collarbone, and so Quentin has been suspended 8 games, but active tonight. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Inning over, but the Padres get home runs, solo shots from Venable and Everett Cabrera to cut the lead to 9-4. Venables right down the line, almost kissed the foul pole. Diego Padres baseball from Petco Park on Fox Sports San Diego, and it's brought to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go. Well, the Padres answer with a couple of home runs in the 7th inning. Cabrera and Venable going long distance. And if the Padres get any base traffic in the 8th and 9th, Cabrera will have a chance to become the first Padre ever in 45 years to hit for the cycle. Needs a double. It's worth waiting around to see if it all happens.
Absolutely.
A little history tonight. Brad Brock celebrated his birthday yesterday, 27 years of age. Comes on to work the 8th inning. Josh Rutledge, then Gonzalez and Tulowitzki for Colorado. Baker stays in the game behind the plate for Hundley. Rutledge has scored a run. Been on base 3 times, twice with fielder's choice and a walk, so he's 0 for 3. So those home runs take some of the bitter taste out of what was a Colorado route. And maybe that's you got to start somewhere. The foundation for getting some wins in the bank starting tomorrow.
Well, running out of time, no doubt about that, as we go to the top of the 8th. But you know the old adage: try to get in the slam range. And Will Venable, part of that. Everett Cabrera, solo shots. It'd been nice to have a couple of runners on.
Thad Weber did a good job.
Yes, he did.
His debut as a Padre. Went 3 2/3. In relief of Volquez, gave up 2 runs, 3 hits, walked 3, struck out 2. That ate up the innings.
Yep. Last time out for Brad Brock was a few days ago, April 10th against the Dodgers.
Another foul out of play. Struck him out. 1 away. Here comes Gonzalez.
Be at Petco Park when your Padres take on the San Francisco Giants. It's Friday, April 26th. First pitch 7:10. Stay after the game to celebrate the music of the Beatles with a spectacular fireworks show presented by Cooper Tires. Be sure to buy early and save at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555.
Well, that's always a popular night as we look out Park in the Park at the great statue of Mr. Padre Tony Gwynn, coaching his San Diego State Aztecs. He's had a good conference record. Gonzalez struck out, walked and scored, doubled in a run and scored, and singled the last time up. Skids that one in, 2-1. Padres rotation set for the Dodger series. Stoltz will pitch on Monday, Marquee Tuesday, Tyson Ross on Wednesday. We're going to see Clayton Kershaw that Wednesday game. Took a loss last night. So he's 2-1. Billingsley on Monday night, probably Capuano, but it's not official for Tuesday night. That would have been Greinke's spot. And then up to play Bruce Bochy's World Series champions up in the Bay. Giants won earlier this afternoon. They're off to a good start, 8-4. And the count full on Gonzalez.
Have you seen the Giants' latest piece of jewelry to add to their collection?
I saw pictures of it. There's another hit for Gonzalez. Just fights off that pitch and sends it into center field. A 3-hit night for Cargo. Did you like the ring?
Pretty nice looking ring. After winning the 2012 World Series, and Carlos Gonzalez. That ball looked like it was down near the label. He wanted it in, Brad Brock did, but kind of leaked a little bit. Just goes to show you, he's got great plate coverage.
So does Troy Tulowitzki, an RBI double and a sacrifice fly. So a couple of RBIs for Tulowitzki to push him into double figures, 11 on the season. 1 for 3 tonight. That's a strike. Paints the corner. 9-4 game. It's not likely that Gonzalez will try to steal. He has a stolen base tonight. And a base hit. Tulowitzki just reaches out and punches it sharply to right. Cargo and Tulo combining back-to-back singles. That brings up Michael Kadire. Kadire with a 2-run homer tonight.
Well, the pitch that Carlos Gonzalez was elevated. He fought it off. This one, when it's elevated in a way, we've seen Troy Tulowitzki do that as well. It wasn't the prettiest swing, but just getting that bat head out in front on the elevated pitch, it's easier. You know, if that's down around the knees, it's a weak, probably grounder to the right side.
11 hits now for the Rockies. Kadire struck out, grounded out. 2-run homer to deep left center and a walk. Inside, ball 1. Two homers tonight for the Rockies, 20 on the season. Good play. Didn't spill a drop.
Yeah.
Another one that would be a souvenir upstairs. Look at that woman's face. Awesome. Back up the middle. One there, back to first. A double play. The Padres turn 2 for the second time tonight. The Rockies denied in the 8th to the bottom of the 8th. Padres need 5 to tie. Right-hander Matt Belisle comes in for Colorado, and who sees a lot of duty out of that pen for the Rockies. This is his 6th game this year. Allowed a couple of runs and 4 hits in his 5 innings. Plus,
now he's got a rubber arm, and he's pretty much one of those guys that you can depend on each and every time. He'll have, you know, every now and then a rough outing, but more times than not, he's gonna give you a good inning or an inning plus. Been around for a long time, and he's off to a good start.
He'll face Alonso, Guzman, and Amarista in the Padre 8th inning. Alonso 0 for 2 tonight with a sacrifice fly. The attendance announced 29,523 here on Chase Headley bobblehead night. Belisle, born and raised, still lives in Austin, Texas. Home base of the Longhorns of the University of Texas. You talk about how busy this man has been. 230 appearances in the last 3 seasons. That's a workhorse.
Sure is.
Last year, 80 games, almost half of the games for the Rockies. He was 3-8, 3.71 ERA, had 3 saves. Count levels at 2-2 to Alonso. Home runs by Venable, his second, and Cabrera's first for the Padres. Kadire, his third, a 2-run shot. And Rosario, that ball line foul, hit his 4th with a man on for Colorado. Rockies led by Carlos Gonzalez, 3 hits, and Rosario, 3 hits. Padres, a 3-hit night from Everett Cabrera, single, triple home run. Full count, Alonso. And Cabrera with a dazzling defensive play that became a double play in the game as well. Line drive, base hit. Alonso sends a rope to right to greet Bella. Brings up Amarista.
You know what's great about that is it's right down the middle, and Yonder Alonso doesn't try to overswing and do too much. Using his legs. Remember earlier in the ballgame, Kelly Crawl was talking about the adjustment Yonder Alonso was making, driving those legs, using the knees down into the ground.
Guzman has struck out, grounded out, and walked tonight.
It's also what Mark Sweeney was talking about in our instructional before the game, the pregame show. Oh, that was a fat one there. That was a mistake pitch that Guzman wants back. Look at the location of this pitch. 4-seam fastball right down the middle.
With that 5-run lead, able to challenge the hitters.
Yep.
9-4 Colorado. 2-1. Some of the fans keeping their fingers crossed that Padres will make a big comeback and at least get enough men to the plate so that Cabrera gets another chance to swing the bat and go for the cycle. Nub foul. The Rockies in the series and the 3 games in Denver, 5 games, have outscored San Diego 36-15. Run machine, this Rocky team. Walt Weiss, the skipper, first year. Over but low, full count. Guzman. Ball 4. So the Padres have a couple of men aboard with no one out here in the 8th inning. Good start. Guzman trots to first. And here's Amarista, doubled into the left field corner. Took up some chalk in the corner his last time up. Rosario's worn a path out to the mound tonight.
And Troy Tulowitzki wants to know what type of signs they're going to be using now with the runner at second base.
Amarista hitting 5th. Mark Kotsay started in left field batting 5th, but came out of the game after his first at bat as he rounded to short. His lame walking back to the dugout.
According to my calculations, 5 of the 8 hits tonight for San Diego, extra base hits. You talk about needing one right now.
2 home runs, a triple Cabrera, double Amarista. Line drive, fair ball. Another shot into the left field corner. That'll get one run home and into third, and the ball gets away, but not far enough for any advance. Watch out, Amarista has to hustle back to second as Helton came up with the ball. So Amarista, a pair of doubles off the bench, drives in a run, and it's now 9-5, and the Padres edging ever closer. Now they're in the Grand Slam range.
And the Padres swinging a little magic shillelagh in this inning. Amarista going the opposite way against Bilal. Everybody's off and running, and remember the arm of Carlos Gonzalez. Runs don't mean anything right now. You got to keep those base runners on base and pass it over to the next guy. That's Jed Jerko.
It was flied out twice. Hit the ball deep the last time up to center field. 2 men in scoring position. 9-5 to score. Base hit makes it a 2-run game. Still no one out here in the 8th, and Carlos Quentin out of the dugout. He's in the on-deck circle. Half swing foul, 1-1. Quentin pulled back. Quentin in quest of his first home run of the season. Chipping away, 9-2 Colorado, then 9-4 on the 2 home runs in the last inning, and now a run with no one out here in the 8th and 2 men in scoring position, and the ball in the dirt.
Good take right there by Jed Jerko, recognizing the breaking ball out of the hand of Matt Belisle, counting his favor, 2-1.
Potential tying run, Quentin in the on-deck circle. Right field to Dyer, pretty shallow, and no advance from third. By Guzman, 1 out. And here's Quentin. T here at Petco. Belisle has had some problems, ERA 5.5. Fans let Quentin know that they're in support of the Husky outfielder after what happened earlier this week. 1 out, runners at second and third. Him up. Back of the plate, Rosario. One pitch and Quentin gone. So neither Jerko or Quentin can take advantage of those 2 runners at second and third, so 2 outs. And Venable the hitter.
First pitch slider from Matt Belisle. Let's take a look. And just working underneath it a little bit. Out in front as well, off the end of the bat.
Right down the heart of the plate, into his power zone. Venable, a double and a home run, and has scored 2. Positioned to have himself quite a night here. If he can come up with a base hit with 2 men in scoring position. 2 RBIs last night. Another tonight. 8 for the season, leading the Padres. Pulled it right down the line last inning and found the Petco porch. It's amazing how few home runs we've seen hit into that little box in right field.
Yep, absolutely right.
So 2 strikes on Venable. Guzman at third, Amarista at second. (9-5) Colorado. Well outside. Bird's eye view of the action. Second and third, the Padres in the dirt, 2-2.
Bellal trying to have Will Venable fish after that little cutter or slider in the dirt, and a nice block by Rosario.
25th pitch of this inning for Bellal. Stays alive. It's a tough pitch right on the outside corner. Alonso singled, Guzman walked. Amarista RBI double into the corner, second and third going out, but Bellal is taking care of Jerko and the pinch hitter Quentin, and now 2-2 to Venable.
I'm guessing if he's going to throw something on the inside part of the plate, it's going to be one of those sliders that misses down and in. If he's going to throw him a fastball, I'm guessing away. He's going to give him left field. And with that said, Fowler and Gonzalez shading over towards the left field line.
Oh, just did clip that one. Another pitch on the edge. And Rosario goes to the mound again.
Dick, this was a pitch where Will Venable could have really driven to left field. It's elevated, just working underneath it a little bit. Maybe Troy Tulowitzki got crossed up with the size of shortstop, because he's having a chat with Rosario and Bellal just to be on the same page. You know, breaking ball, they'll cheat a little bit one way or the other. Fastball, they'll go the other way on the infield.
Well, one thing that's assured now with this long inning, that Cabrera will get another at bat, either this inning or the ninth. Second and third, 2 outs. Cabrera a double away from hitting for the cycle tonight. And another foul. He got a hanger there. Battling away, Bellal and Venable. That remains 2-2. 2 outs, 2 on. 2 hits tonight for Venable.
The ninth pitch of the at-bat coming right here. Bellal trying to go down and in and away to Will Venable.
Struck him out, low and in. Rosario has to make the play at first for the 2-3 put out. Inning comes to an end. Golden opportunity, and the Padres able to manage just 1 run. Cut the lead to 9-5. He's leading 9-5, makes his 7th appearance of the season, more than any Padre pitcher. Kokomo Joe will face Todd Helton, Rosario, and Brignac, 2 of the 3 scheduled hitters left-handed. A luau has broken out here at Petco Park.
Yeah. This is a big outing for Joe Thatcher. And last time Joe was out there was yesterday. Did not record an out. 1 hitter, 1 hit given up. That was in the 6th inning. That was to Todd Helton.
Todd Helton, safe on an error, scored, doubled in a run and scored, struck out and walked. Bends that one in there, strike 1. Little chill in the air tonight. Fans came well prepared. Temperature in the mid-50s at the moment. Hit the left field, slicing down the line, and foul. Hilton flirting with a 2-base hit. He doubled earlier to move up another notch into a tie for the number 20 spot all time with Pudge Rodriguez. 572 doubles in his great big league career. Another foul. Reaches out and punches a soft fly to left center. It's going to fall for a hit. Well, Hilton doesn't hit it hard, but uses the territory. Bloops a hit for his 2nd knock tonight. And that'll bring up Rosario.
Well, when he doesn't hit the sweet spot of the bat, he'll fight it off either down by the knuckles or at the end of the bat there. Not a pretty swing.
Fall away wedge shot into left center. He'll take it. Rosario 3 for 4, including a 2-run homer. Strike 1. Raising his average to 343. 9 innings, 6 times the Rockies have placed the leadoff man on. Thatcher trying to hold them at a 4-run advantage.
That's so important.
It'll be Baker, Cabrera, and DeNorfia scheduled in the bottom half of the ninth. And again, if you're just joining us, stay with us, because Cabrera has a chance to do something no Padre has accomplished in 45 years. And that's the hit for the cycle.
It's unbelievable, really.
Single, triple home run for Cabrera. He's a good doubles hitter. 2-2 to Rosario.
You think of the hitters the Padres have had. I'm just mentioning, obviously, Tony Gwynn, Dave Winfield, Gary Sheffield. We mentioned him earlier. My goodness.
Bill Nevin.
Yeah,
Benito Santiago.
Well, yeah, Steve Garvey. We can go on and on and on. And, you know, that's the thing. When you look at cycles, they don't have to be the marquee names. I mean, some of those names are so obscure, you probably never even heard of a lot of guys who have hit.
Didn't Gwynn have everything but a single when it was taken out of a game?
Jim Riggleman took him out. Tony tells him that story because it was like 15-2.
Soft fly to right center. Long run. Another blue pit. Hilton into second base, and a 4-for-5 night for Willeen Rosario, as the Rockies making contact like they're using the Sunday UT.
Death by paper cuts. Helton off the end of the bat. Single to shallow left field. Rosario jammed down by the knuckles. Little duck snort to shallow right center field for a base hit.
So 2 on with no one out. Tony Gwynn, in fact, came within one hit of a cycle 22 times. Never quite got that fourth one. Brignac squares as if to bunt, but a 9-5 game. One wonders about that. Might have been on his own. He has struck out, intentionally walked, hit into a double play, and fly to center. Hitting in the 8th spot in the Rockies order. And he is bunting. Foul ball. Now perhaps Walt Weiss figuring I'd like to get one more run. Sure. Stay out of that grand slam range. Belton at second, Rosario at first. Not a lot of speed aboard for the Rockies. Good bunt. Really good. That's going to be a base hit. Perfectly placed by Brignac. Bases loaded. Even though he showed bunt, he placed it so perfectly the Padres couldn't make a play.
That's what I was just thinking. Jerko at third base, he was in on the grass. He showed bunt a couple times, but did it perfectly to where they can't even record it out. Now nowhere to put Jordan Pacheco.
Pinch hitting for the pitcher. Pacheco's first at bat. So a couple of blue pits and a bunt single load the bases with no one out against Joe Thatcher. Another soft fly to right. This one is catchable. Denorfia. And his throw comes into the plate and back to third. Todd Helton. The Rockies finally hit one far enough that it can be caught here in the 9th. And now a double play could bail Thatcher out of it as Dexter Fowler steps up for the first time hitting right-handed. Left-handed tonight, 1 for 4 and a walk. Now, when they signed Fowler out of Georgia High School, he wasn't a switch hitter. He hit only right-handed. He's become a much better and more dangerous hitter left-handed. 5 of his 6 home runs left-handed this year. That one bends around the plate. Infield tight, trying to cut off the run at the plate. And this should do it. There's one. Boy, Baker just holding his toe on the front edge of the plate as Jerko made a wild throw. So no chance to go back up the line in a double play. But 2 away, bases remain loaded. Fowler safe on the fielder's choice. Helton out 5-2.
John Baker is a first baseman. Remember now, in the instructional the other day, at second base, where the second baseman is getting a throw from shortstop, it's a force play. So John Baker has that 1 foot, his right foot on home plate to where he can catch it and spin. But hey, that's like a hockey goalie there. He's preventing that puck from going to the net. He did everything he could to dive for that ball and keep that foot on the plate.
Jerko has a strong arm. Didn't really throw that very hard.
Kind of tentative a little bit.
Just kind of tossed it, and it was almost pulling Baker off the plate. Well, 2 away, and Josh Rutledge, the hitter. Foul ball. Rutledge safe on a fielder's choice and scored in the first. He's flied up, walked and scored. Safe on another fielder's choice in the 6th and scored and struck out. So without a base hit tonight, Rutledge has checked in with 3 runs. 2 strikes the count. Thatcher a strike away from pitching out of a bases loaded no out jam. And misses there 1-2. Glove by Thatcher. What a job. Joe with a couple of blue pits and a bunt single, bases loaded, and pitches around it. No score for Colorado. Can Cabrera hit for the cycle coming up at the bottom of the ninth? With Cabrera, the Padres, 3 hits, including a triple and a home run, and a brilliant play afield to turn a double play, and a double shy of the cycle. Tripled in the first inning over the head of Cargo Gonzalez, then slapped an RBI single to left in the third, and then the little man got into one in the 7th inning and drove it out of here. Left center field into the bullpen.
Nice, some good at-bats tonight for Evan Cabrera, and we could see some history here tonight.
He'll be batting right-handed against the new Colorado pitcher, left-hander Rex Brothers. John Baker will lead it off. Baker's second at bat. He flied to right field his first time. Cabrera on deck. Foul back. Hundley started. Went 0 for 3. And on a double switch, Baker pinch hit and then replaced Hundley behind the plate. Strike 2. 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and Rafael Betancourt, their closer, just in case. He's lobbing the ball, staying warm. Pretty good pitch.
Yeah. He's got a power arm from the left side. And there's the man.
You think of how many thousands of at-bats by a Padre.
Yeah.
Baker goes down swinging. And here's Cabrera. Thousands and thousands of at-bats, and yet no Padre has ever hit for the cycle, and the fans in on the no, urging Cabrera to come up with a double. Batting right-handed. Most of his at-bats this season, and in any season, of course, with the dominance of right-handed pitching, are from the left side. But a chance to hit right-handed here. He's 2 for 6. Right-handed. Interesting, he does not have a double this year and won't have a double here, but he has a 4-hit night. Single to center. Let's see if he steals second. Could we give him a double then?
No. Well, first pitch fastball, taking it right up the center of the diamond. In a game like this, I'm sure Everett Cabrera would trade an over for a Padre victory. One out, runner on first. Let's see what they can do here. But he's had one heck of a night in the big leagues, that's for sure.
Denorfia goes around. It's the third time in his career Cabrera with 4 hits in a game. One out. Padres need a couple more on base to bring the tying run up. 10 hits now for San Diego. And this could do it. One there. Double play. 4-6-3, and the ball game is over. And the Colorado Rockies make it 5 straight against the Padres with a 9-5 win. Mike, what's coming up on Padres Live?
Well, we're going to